The last couple of weeks have been exciting and fun. The Elder Scrolls community has kind of had a moment. And today we bring on a very, very special guest to both raise some money for charity, ! Donate. If you would like to contribute to the cause we are raising money for. But today's a very special stream. We're bringing on a man who is a voice that I have heard for almost 20 years now playing various games. First heard him in Morrowind, then heard him in Oblivion. He was a lot of characters in Oblivion. Many of you know him as the Oblivion Guard, all of the Oblivion Guards, the Mad God Sheogorath, or my personal favorite, Sosusius Ergala. Is that? I believe that's his name. But yes, I would like to introduce everybody to the wonderful, the legendary, Wes Johnson.
Yes, we've been expecting you, Joov. Come right in. Tell us a bit about yourself.
About me?
You were born under a certain sign. What was
What
that?
would that be? I think I was more of a steed guy. I was never fast, but I always liked the thought that I could one day be fast.
I have always wanted to be fast, and yet I find myself slow. Just always very, very slow, Joov. But that's okay. They say the tortoise slow and steady wins the race, and we'll try to do that here today.
Slow and steady has been basically the entire basis of my Oblivion playthrough. You see, the gimmick with this run is, one second, somebody's telling me to turn you up a little bit. The gimmick of this run is that I started it, and we have not left the Imperial City Island. So we do as much as we can just on the first island.
I find myself just distracted by everything. Everything. I don't have an issue with doing a main quest or finishing a main quest. For me, it's just explore. Where can I go from here? What can I do now? I am basically in a game when I'm playing like squirrel, and I turn and find something else to do. I've been loving playing Oblivion Remastered recently, and I'm taking my time getting to Kvatch. Now all my friends, my brother's reaching out to me, and he goes, "Wes, have you been leveling up?" I'm like, "Yeah." He says,
that's when it starts to get difficult.
Yeah. So by the time I get to Kvatch, I'm going to probably be an ink spot.
How far have you gotten in your playthrough?
I'm in the playthrough probably about 30 hours, but I've hit everything along the way.
Okay.
The thing is, I don't just voice the games, Joov. I love to play them. And when this first came out, I loved playing Oblivion. I had played Morrowind for about 800-900 hours, and then I started voicing Oblivion, and I was able to look at the world of Morrowind and live there in my head and in my soul as I was voicing. So for me, games and voice immersion are just huge.
I mean, that's why these games, I think, hit with so many people, because of, I'm sorry, the game is really chaotic right now, running around the sewers. They hit for so many people because they are immersive. And I want to get into talking about the games, but real quick, before we get into talking about the gaming stuff, the voice stuff, I wanted to mention one thing, and that is that, obviously a couple of months ago, you had a health scare, and a lot of the community was affected by it. I wanted to let you know while we're here that community is always thinking of you and wishing for the best. And we are very, very happy that, we have you still. It was scary. And we're, blessed that we can celebrate kind of this moment with you.
I'm glad to be here. Like the Wilbury song says, happy to be here, happy to be alive. And for a brief second there, Joov, I was not. I had a situation with a colonoscopy. Always get checked. It's always good. And I've had many of them throughout the years, and they're about as safe as can be. But I ran into a doctor who was not as safe as could be, and who kind of hurt me, and ended up putting me in liver shock, gave me an intussusception, and caused me to stop absorbing nutrients. So for about a year, about a fifth of what I was eating was all I was getting. Vitamins.
Really?
I starved. I was eating and starving at the same time. So when they lost me, I had to be resuscitated. I was on life support. They put me in a medically induced coma for 4 days or so, and ran a dialysis on me for 3 days and massive blood transfusions. They told my wife I wasn't going to make it. Told me to
Wow.
come back end of life. There was a lot of things that were going on, but I fought back. Evidently, by the time I came out of it, a GoFundMe that had been set for my funeral expenses had changed to medical, which is good because out of state and out of pocket and out of
Hmm.
that's it's amazing what it costs to save somebody's life these days.
Yeah.
Uh, and I couldn't be more grateful. But the thing that really hit me, Juve, the words, the things that people were saying.
Oh, right. I mean, my chat is already right now. I can kind of look over and see, the love that people have, especially
I
thank you
felt so
for,
much love.
yeah.
I felt so much love. And these are the kind of things that you never forget that change your life. I mean, I was down there to do a thing for the Alzheimer's Association to speak at their big meeting. And we've done Voice of Palooza now with Ken and Fallout for Hope for the past 3 years. And we've raised over $120,000 for charity for people who are going through the worst times of their lives right now. And yet, when this happened to me, the Alzheimer's Association, they dropped everything. I was supposed to be there for them.
And they were
They
there for you.
24/7 while I was in a coma until my family could arrive. Flew my family down, put them up in rooms the whole time I was in the hospital. They took care of me. That's the kind of people in the Alzheimer's Association that we're working to help. And I don't know about you, Juve. I don't know if you have this in your family history or not. I know I do.
We do.
Mother and my grandmother to Alzheimer's and dementia. And you lose people before you lose
Hello
them.
again.
You're right. In terms of our experience in my family with Alzheimer's, my grandmother
Quality
on my
goods for
father's
sale
side,
here. What
she
can I
has had
interest you in?
Alzheimer's. I don't know the exact distinction between Alzheimer's and dementia, really, but I'm pretty sure she has.
Creature. They're the same creature.
Yeah,
They work together hand in hand in a diabolical way.
where it starts as you know, starting to go through photos and not remembering them as much.
A
But
little
then,
bit slipping at a time.
right,
And
a little bit at a time, and then basic functionality
Tell your friends about
is
Bye.
hallucinations, personality changes. It starts to affect them physically. Families have been torn apart because you've
right.
got ones who suddenly they don't recognize you. You don't recognize them. You have to become the keeper of their memories. And this is one of the reasons we do what we do is because we're doing a number of things, Juve. First and foremost, we're helping the caregivers because the families and the people who are around someone who is losing it, who's going through Alzheimer's or dementia,
Hmm.
terrible time. You feel lost. It's the kind of thing you don't talk to other people about. And so where do you turn? Well, you turn to the Alzheimer's Association. They've got a 24/7 hotline. You go to alz.org and you can get somebody who's been there, somebody who knows what to do, and somebody who can help. And when I had to go through it initially, we didn't know that. We didn't have that. So I've kind of made it a mission to let people know that they're out there because I've seen what they can do and how they can help. The other thing is they're constantly helping and pushing towards a cure. And we're getting closer all the time. There are new medications that are available right now because of people like you that out there donate like enough for a cup of coffee, $1 here, $1 there, a little something. And everything adds up. And suddenly we've got these medications that if you take it early enough, then they stay who they are longer. You retain
Yeah,
who you are longer. And that's what nobody's here forever, Juve. But the longer we can be us, the longer we can stay in contact with those we love and share our lives, the better. And these are things, now we've got a situation in this world where it's a little dark, and you've got people who are trying to stop research and are trying to stop and put an end to things that are good like that and say,
right.
well, right, no, we need to bring the light. It may be a dark world, but we can bring the light, even if it's just a little bit at a time, and help keep these things going. So you've got the research, you've got the background, you've got the help for the caregivers, you've got someone on your side, and that's the entire world. That means so much. Um, when I lost my mother, the hallucinations got crazy. She thought that my brother had been killed and was replaced by an actor. not recognizing that I was an actor, but my other brother
Right.
who
How,
uh,
if you don't mind me
uh,
asking, how long ago did you lose your mother?
I lost my mother about 8 years ago. I lost my dad
Condolences.
a little bit before then. So we've been fighting ever since. Now, since then, my aunt has gotten it, and I've been dealing with her. And she
Hmm.
had a situation where she attacked her husband one night because she didn't recognize him and thought, "Who is this person who's
Right.
climbing bed?" And so she attacked and hurt him. Um, it's an insidious disease, and it's the kind of thing again where people hide it from other folks. You don't need to worry about that with us here because we are all squad. We are all family. The
Right.
Alzheimer's Association is like family and they take care of people. It is all about helping. It is all about love. It is all about retaining and being the keeper of the memories because say you do have a grandparent or a parent or Lord forbid someone closer to you who in your age who and it's happening younger every day who's slipping away. You know who they are. You have the memories of who they are. You are the keeper of those memories. And it is really, really difficult sometimes
It's,
to
im-
remember that
I
in the
think that the fundraising is so noble and so important as well because with my family, with my
yeah,
grandmother, it's not necessarily just the victim and the person that is suffering
no,
that has Alzheimer's. It is the family and the people around them that have
yeah,
to make a decision of how much of my personal time do I
right.
have to sacrifice to support this person versus it's incredibly expensive to have somebody in a care facility. I
And to
mean,
know which care
thousands and
facility
thousands
is
of
the better
dollars.
care facility. They're not all created equal. Not
Right.
memory centers are not
Yeah.
all created equal.
And so the experience of somebody with Alzheimer's in a low income family versus a middle class family versus a high income family is going to vary exponentially. And that's why resources like the fundraiser, what is the full name of the fundraiser again?
Voice of
Voice of
Palooza.
Palooza. Okay.
Voice of Palooza. And we're going through falloutforhope.com. Over 7 million people in America are living with Alzheimer's right now. 7
7
million.
million.
And I mean, you don't know this because people hide this sort of thing. And it's like Darkwing Dragon talking about their father hallucinating. My mother hallucinated. She'd seen my father who had passed away standing across the street and wondering why he wouldn't come see her. My grandmother hallucinated. She would hallucinate Furbies. Do you remember those old little dolls, Furbies?
The collectibles?
Yeah, they'd be all over her room. There was one time she called me up and she said, "How dare you?" So what are you talking about, Grandma? Said, "How dare you call me up after what you said to me?" What did I say to you? I didn't. What's going on? You came right into my room, you stood there in the doorway, you told me I was no longer the head of the family, that I had no power and that you were in charge, and I'm going, "Grandma, I would never say anything like that to you. I'd whack somebody upside the head who had the nerve to talk to you in that way." And she said, "You did, you did." I said, "Hang right there, I'm on my way over." I go over to visit her. And I said, "Now, where was I standing when I was telling you this?" She pointed over towards the wall. And I look over there, and there is one of my old acting headshots on the wall. She sees my acting headshot. She thinks it's me and thinks that I'm cussing her out. Now, I have to tell you, Juve, if your headshots start cussing out your grandma, you know
Right.
it's time to get new headshots.
Yeah. Or get more support and help.
Yeah. And I went to the doctors, took her to the doctors. And the doctor is just saying, "Well, Mr. Johnson, she's just old."
Hmm.
Really? You can't diagnose further. You can't do anything. No, she's just old. I said, "Fine. Let's take her around back and we'll shoot her like an old horse and put her down for glue." He said, "Well," I said, "No, you find that offensive? I find what you said offensive. What can we do?" So they went and did CAT scans, things of the sort, and contrasted it against earlier CAT scans where they noticed that there had been a little brain shrinkage, there had been
Hmm.
things going on. And that's when they realized that she had had dementia and she was suffering from Alzheimer's. But at a certain point, sometimes you have to be the advocate.
Yeah.
You have to advocate for those who are sick. And having somebody like the Alzheimer's Association to be there to be supportive for you is hugely important. And to have to do that on your own, there are many people who find themselves just adrift and find their families torn apart when they don't have to be. And that's why we do this, man. That's why we do this. We do this because gamers and streamers, I've discovered from around the world, are some of the finest human beings around. I mean, what a reputation. People in the news love to talk about the
Damn
toxic game.
straight, gamers.
It's a small
It
percentage,
is.
like in regular life.
Yeah.
Just like in regular life. The people that I've seen, the mass majority of folks, generous, wonderful, loving people who just want to be themselves, to love who they love, to be who they are, and are willing to help others, to extend a hand. And in this world right now, the people who are extending a hand and helping are more important than ever. Like Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers. First, look for the helpers. And they're out there, and you guys are out there, and you've come through every year.
Brief goal update. Well, first off, I appreciate you being so vulnerable and open and quite. You've done this before, going through and kind of giving explaining how important the resources and the research are, as well as, sharing the personal stories and anecdotes that you have, because I guarantee there are people in this chat or that will see this when it goes up onto my VOD channel that will resonate with a lot of the stories you've told. And I, resonate with some of it, not as closely as some, because I haven't been directly involved in the care for my grandmother. I have only seen the effect it's had on my aunt, who her full-time job has been to care for our grandmother the last
it wears and
6, 7 years.
her.
Yeah, it's a full-time job. But we did hit our initial first soft goal of 1,000. It looks like I have to pull it up real quick, maybe refresh the page. We are at 1,584 very, very quickly into the stream. So congratulations. Thank you, everybody in chat. I'm going to update the goal. I think I can do that.
Thank you all.
Somewhere in here.
You all rock. This is amazing. The thing is, you say that it hasn't affected you directly, but Joov, did you know that for women, the lifetime risk for Alzheimer's to get it by age 45 is 1 in 5.
I did not know that.
5. And for men, it's 1 in 10. And we're talking 45 years old.
45 years old. And that's when it starts. So it takes a lot of time.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it moves rapidly and quickly. Sometimes it goes slowly. There's really no pattern sometimes, and you can get a number of different things. The dementia can be a number of different things. You can go from dementia. You can end up with full-blown Alzheimer's. You can end up with Lewy body dementia, which is what Robin Williams had, and things that will allow you to remain functional for a while, but you can feel yourself slipping away. There's songs out there. Remember Glenn Campbell, the singer? And Glenn Campbell had Alzheimer's. And his last song, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it was like, I Won't Be Missing You. And basically that's what the song is. It's like, I'm slipping away and you're going to be missing me, but I won't know.
Right, but they won't know. And that's, yeah.
And it's hard. It breaks your heart. And, I think of my family sometimes and I miss them.
Yeah.
And I keep the memories here with me. But I do remember those days. My grandmother never, ever believed that I didn't cuss her out. My grandmother never believed that I did. The hallucination to her was almost more real than anything else.
That is what hurts is, you remember them. They don't, remember you, or their only memory or recollection of you could be this dark, twisted, something like you're saying that just didn't occur. And knowing, that you've lost somebody before you've lost them and continuing to support them and do what you can for them is absolutely, it's not, I don't want to say the hardest thing, but it's one of the hard
It is
aspects
hard.
of
You
it.
have to step away sometimes and, like I said, remember who they are and who you're dealing with and not who you're dealing with in the moment. And understand also that I know many people who are with loved ones who don't remember them, but they still think they're very nice to be there with
Yeah,
them. And then occasionally a moment of lucidity. And those are the kind of things that can kill you. Remember, Tony Bennett had Alzheimer's disease, and he was doing that last final concert at Carnegie Hall with Lady Gaga. They say that music, he never forgot that. That didn't slip away. He could remember every song.
I
He,
have heard about music and the
yeah,
effect that it can
play
have.
music every day. Bring the piano. A guy would come with the piano, and Tony would sing, and he would sing, and Gaga would go over and sing with him. And she said for weeks and weeks before Carnegie Hall, he never knew who she was. And she comes out on the stage. Now, if you watch this, Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett at Carnegie Hall, the last concert, there's a moment. She walks out onto the stage. Tony Bennett turns around, he looks over at her and goes, Lady Gaga. And she had to stop. Consummate professional had to stop and take a moment to regroup herself. She did it fairly quickly. But she said later it was one of the hardest things ever because he hadn't recognized her in weeks. And suddenly he was right there with her
In that moment,
in that moment. And so you could see the tears in her eyes and the joy on her face as they sang together and she recognized him. He recognized her. Um,
it's
I
as
apologize, guys. This sometimes gets me.
and no, absolutely. This is and I made sure to tell my moderators and my community that I am an incredibly immature person. I curse a
I
lot.
applaud that. I
I
applaud that.
I'm wearing a suit today. I opened this up by doing a bit like, oh, I'm interviewing Wes Johnson. I'm gonna wear a suit and we'll be, lighthearted and fun. But
Gonna dress
I
better.
made sure to let the community know that, or to let my moderating team know, and to let kind of the chat know a little bit that, like, hey, you know, things may be serious today. Don't know exactly how it's going to go. So just keep things a little bit more mature than we usually do. We
Well, the
spend a
thing
lot
is,
of
we
time,
don't have to be though. I mean, we don't have to be. One of the things about Voice of Palooza is we have fun
right.
radio ones. And we're going to have fun today. We talk about this and we're serious and we know why we're here. And we implore you guys to donate even like $1 or the amount of a cup of coffee, which of course could be your mortgage fee.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's no minimum, to where if you donate to a good cause, it's regardless, like, it's going to, something that is affecting other people's lives in really positive ways. Even if it's as
And
much
we have
as
joy. Then you bring joy into your life. Then you enjoy yourself. I mean, here's the thing. Life is going to continue. When you've got someone, you're dealing with someone who has Alzheimer's, when you're dealing with someone who is sick, you need to make moments for yourself in there.
absolutely.
Need to have moments of joy, and that's what we do. I mean, all through June we're going to be doing this. We're going to have voice actors. We do interviews with folks. We had Adrian Barbeau last year and Tim Russ. We might have Sean Astin said he may join us this year. We've got Matt Mercer's come in, John St. John, Duke Nukem, Ellen McLean, GLaDOS.
A
We've
lot of
had
good names, or just a lot of names I recognize, and I'm not the
and we
most,
all come together for a cause, but we laugh and we're
and have fun.
silly, we're stupid, and we just have a blast and we have fun for funds. And that's what we're going to hopefully do here today. We're going to play the game. We're going to go through. We'll talk about the remaster. We'll answer questions if anybody has them. In the meantime, we're going to ask you to make some donations. We're going to ask you to help and do some things and bring some light into this world. But to bring the light in the world, we're also going to laugh. You need to laugh. You need to find joy. And let me tell you something about. I'm
Oblivion is
gonna
a good game to do
tell you a
that
secret
in
about my
when you like.
mother. Okay, I'm going to tell you a very personal moment. At the very end, when my mother was going, and we don't know if people can hear you. We felt she could hear us, and we're all standing around, my brothers and my sister, in the room with her, and I'm holding her hand. And it's so somber. And she's hanging in there and hanging in there and hanging in there. And I got this feeling. She was hanging in there for me, for us, for all of us. She could feel the tension in the room. She could feel like she needed to do something and be there for us. And I said, guys, let's start telling tales. Let's start talking about things that we loved. Let's start
Good memories.
Good memories.
Yeah.
Things that make us laugh. And we turned the mood in the room. And we started talking about stuff. Do you remember this? Remember mom and this? And we're laughing. And I could see, I don't say anything to my brothers and sisters, but I see the respiration going down. I see the heart rate going. And she suddenly was like, you're going to be okay. Everybody's going to be okay. And she felt safe to go. There's no one in your life that loves you, that wants you to suffer. They want you to remember. They want you to hold their memories. They want you to hold the joy. They want to be remembered with kindness, with laughter, with joy. They want to know that there was a good thing, and they don't want to bring pain. So we're going to celebrate with joy. And we're going to bring light into this world. And I don't know of no other group of people other than my friends, the gamers, the streamers, the people like me, the nerds.
That was I every now and then on stream I like to usually doing a bit or whatever to hype people up or inspire people or tell something. You know, I'm not as good at it as you are. That was beautiful. And
yes, but
appreciate it.
You don't know. You speak from the heart. You speak from your joy. You bring yourself, and that's all you need to do.
That is true. We typically I like to just typically have, as you were going through that, I found myself placed up on the rooftops of the Imperial City Marketplace just to find a good view. But I do typically like to focus on the things I enjoy rather than the things that frustrate me, which is usually, I think, a fairly good outlook. Once again,
you've got going on there, and let's take a look at what you're wearing. You've got some nice armor. It looks like, so is it mithril? What do you got?
This is the Imperial Dragon set that you get for beating the game. Now, this is going to probably, it's just sort of a thing that kind of started my career on YouTube, was playing Bethesda games, picking a section of the map, and never leaving, getting as much content and progression as you could get out of one location. And the Imperial City is great for this because it's an island. It exists out here. It's got its own natural barriers, and you have sewer dungeons. You have a dungeon here, goblins over here. You have the whole city. But
it's well appointed. It truly is.
You can beat the game. So we have beaten the game. There's a way in which you can glitch through a door and teleport yourself to the end of the game. So we've beaten the game. We have found, all sorts of loot. I've been playing it a lot. We have a lot of our skills fairly high up there. We have hit a lot of them at 100. I've even had to not stream and just play this casually on my own because the grind is...
Where are you at with your lockpicking right now?
Lockpicking, we hit 100 last stream.
Did you cheat it?
I did cheat it. I did eventually, yeah. I had to cheat it just to get it to 100.
It's a well-known cheat out there, but I love it.
Do you know the secret to the lockpicking?
Oh, yeah.
You do? Just click when it's slow. And I've been trying to explain to people this. It's been a frustrating piece of Elder Scrolls discourse all over social media that lockpicking in this game is so much harder. It's so much harder than in Skyrim. And I go, no, it's easier if you just know how to do it. You can get it almost every time.
And the thing is, when you're first starting out, you want to level up quickly. You want to level up your lock picking. All you do is you go to that open spot in the lock that's already been clicked, and then just click it over and over again for about 10, 15 minutes.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that exploit until maybe a couple days ago. We also do have the adoring fan. I've renamed him to Baby Boy, a side objective. side
Greg's-
objective that we've had. Let me show you actually one of, I think, the greatest discoveries that we had throughout this run. I have a couple of other, questions and whatnot I'd like to ask you about voice acting, but I think I want to show you, this was a cool discovery, and I believe this might have been world's first in terms of Elder Scrolls glitches when we found this out. Are you familiar with enchanting and spell making in Oblivion?
Yeah, I'll tell you a story about that and how I got locked out in my initial runs.
You
Couldn't
should be
even-
familiar because you do play 80% of the characters in the Mages Guild. There's a few quests where Wes Johnson gives you the quest, which has you meet Wes Johnson, and Wes Johnson sends you to a cave where Wes Johnson accosts you and tries to kill you.
Now that's original. That's original Oblivion. They've redone.
They
a few.
have, yes, they've redone quite a few, and I really do love a lot of the work that the new voice actors did.
However, still, you go in and talk to the three brothers. There are still two brothers that sound just like me.
Have okay, I was gonna save this.
He was fathered by the milkman.
I was gonna save this. That is my favorite character of yours. The side character, who, when you talk to him, he immediately starts off by introducing himself and all of his brothers like they're a boy band. Tertullian, Sergius, and Cicero. The three various brothers. And he doesn't have any other lines, but he's my favorite. It's not the guards. It's not Sheogorath. It's just this side guy who's so excited to talk about his family. And then that's it. That's the only information he gets.
Some of these NPCs are so lonely. They just wait for you to show up. That's how you don't check in or watch. Where's he at? I don't know. He's in a cave somewhere. He'll be here eventually.
So anyway, we ended up finding out. I found a 16-year-old forum post that said, hey, if you beat the game the glitch way, then you can access spell making, and that's a huge end game sort of thing. You have to be able to make your own spells in Oblivion to really access kind of the end game broken stuff that breaks the game. You're flying all over. However, since we haven't joined the Mages Guild, we can't leave the island to do that. This door here just says, no matter how hard you try, the gate will not move. There's no other way to get in. And then somebody in my chat said, try power attacking and paralyzing yourself to get through. And it may take a couple of tries here, but this was a massive breakthrough we had where we just do this. Let's see if I can get it first try. I doubt it. Nope. It'll take some tries, but eventually you get through the gate and have access. This would be embarrassing if it takes me 10 tries. We might be in.
It's like going to the doctor when something hurts and then you get there and it's like it doesn't hurt.
Exactly. So, okay, I'll try to get this glitch to work just to prove that we are epic gamers over here. But I have a few questions that I did want to ask you throughout this.
Okay.
How did, because the first voice acting role you had with Bethesda was Morrowind. Or am I wrong there? Was that the first one? Okay. How did you end up, how did that happen? How did you come to end up working for Bethesda?
In Washington, D.C. I'd done other games. The only other game I had done was Unreal 2, where I played pretty much like 200 different people dying.
I might have played that when I was a kid. I might have.
If you hear people screaming and dying, it was probably me. I was the human equivalent of a Wilhelm scream. So, like 4 hours of basically, all right, Wes, you're getting shot down. Okay, Wes, you're getting stabbed to death. All right, Wes, you get something caught in the zipper. So, that's pretty much what I did when I finally got a chance to do Morrowind. And I got characters that was wonderful. And my director for Morrowind was actually Todd Howard himself.
That was another question that I wanted to ask. Was a lot of people, when it comes to talking about these games, talk about writing and the lore and the voice acting itself. What really interests me, especially with Oblivion, is direction, like voice direction. Because the characters in Oblivion, the way in which all of the lines are delivered is just so unique and so much different than anything else. It's very in your face. It's very like you were talking to somebody 2 inches from your face in like the most uncanny, but also it just has this charm. And I always wonder what the voice direction process during Oblivion was like.
Well, the voice director for Oblivion was Mark Lampert, and Mark is fantastic. Mark also did all the sounds. He was the sound engineer. So when you hear things like in Fallout or Oblivion or Skyrim, where creatures with clicking, moving things, he was a master at mixing sound and putting things together and coming up and check this out. What do you think of this? I love Mark. Mark is fantastic, but I auditioned for him after having done Morrowind.
Hmm.
In Morrowind, there's a difference for me in voicing Morrowind and voicing Oblivion.
I'm choking on this glitch, by the way.
The
I've gone 20 times in a row and have not gotten it.
Well, the difference is I had not played through the world when I voiced Morrowind. When I voiced Oblivion, I'd already spent nearly 1,000 hours living in the world, dreaming in the world, lucid
Yeah.
dreaming, being immersed, going to sleep at night after a 9, 12-hour session and dreaming in that world. So when I do the voices and when I was playing the Imperials and things of this sort in Oblivion, I put myself there. I put myself in the armor. I saw the world of Morrowind around me. I could see silt striders and cliff racers, and thank God you don't see cliff racers anymore. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
yeah. No, I mean, I don't hate the cliff racers as much as everybody else. I think they're a good. I like the occasional enemy that you can just get some XP from.
I don't hate normally Jew,
What's
but cliff racers can go to hell.
what is this? Who are you? A vampire?
Uh-oh.
My child. That's all right. Here we have a spell where we can turn him into our own weapon, and he can disarm people. What? Okay, we're under attack by a lot of things. I think they followed me out of the sewers when I first started the stream.
So you're going to turn the adoring fan into a vampire.
I don't know if he can catch vampirism. It'd be interesting. That's just one of those things, and is kind of the charm of when we do this series. I'm dead. Is figuring out just all of the nonsense that we can conjure up
Yeah.
on this island. So
There's
turning
so
him
many
into a
things.
weapon is
I mean,
important
the
for
open
me.
ended of it and creating your own world and your own stories and the things you can do are fantastic. And that leads me to that story I was going to tell you about. I think it was Oblivion. The Black Soul Gems are Oblivion, correct?
Yes, in terms of like it is a key element of the storyline. Yeah, for the Mages Guild.
Well, I broke into the back door of the one Mages Guild, stole a black soul gem, and used it to power up a sword. Well, as it turns out, I shouldn't have been able to do that because it was a quest item. And it locked me completely out of all of the stuff for the.
No, but you did it the right way.
Well, but I got locked out. I could no longer go to the universities. I couldn't do anything. So I went back and I'm talking to my friends over at Bethesda and Mark Nelson, all these guys, and Mark Oliger. They're like, well, let me see what we can do, and they're trying to get fixes for me to fix it. But that one of the patches they ended up having to do was block it so that you couldn't steal that item anymore. But I ruined my entire game, so I foisted myself upon that sword and ruined my game in a QA quest so that nobody else had to be as stupid as I was.
That's unique experience though. So you get to play these games with Bethesda on call and be like, "Hey, I got a bug." And you guys
I don't normally do that, but in this case, I was going back to voice stuff and I said, "Hey, I did this," and they're like, "We had no idea we could do that," and we went and talked. The thing is, I know some of these guys; they're all
Yeah.
great people, and they all love. They love the games. They love the puzzles of it. They love the story. They love the writing. The writers that are involved there, you've got like Emil Paglerow, who did the whole Dark Brotherhood quest in Oblivion, having come from the Thief series, and you've got Mark Nelson, who did a lot of the stuff for Shea Gorath, and you have all the people who have been doing these writings and these stories. They love them. They absolutely love it. And I know occasionally you get hate to people, but come on, man, this playground that we're in. We love it, and even the glitches, even when something weird happens, like when we experiment around with the beggars, and suddenly their voice goes back to the regular Imperial, and people start saying, "Well, they're obviously undercover." It seems like a glitch at first, but it's one of the reasons people love the games.
That was one of the first things I tested out in the remaster. If the beggars in the Imperial City were still code switching. But it does look like the new voices, they do remain, that scraggly, sort of voice, the crackly voice, like they're down on their luck, they're having a rough time.
They adapted some of the things that I was doing initially and doing it in a different way, which I absolutely love. I love finding some of these. Although the Imperial Guards, when they're telling people pay with your blood and it's not me, it feels wrong.
Well, I am with you. It is the only recast that I do have an issue with, where then pay with your blood. It doesn't work for me. My favorite guard line that I don't like with the recast. I mean, I love it. It's fine. Extra, diversity in the cast is wonderful. My favorite guard line is, when you pay your fine, that's too bad. I was hoping you'd resist. What is that? When you first recorded that line, did you clue it in your head? Like, wow, these guards really, really want to kill somebody. Like, they really want to fight. They're just ready.
Have you ever met people like that, where they are very tough, that even when they have a sense of humor, it's kind of gruff and you don't know whether or not they're joking. They make you comfortable, that if they try to express love and tenderness to you, it's just sort of a head nod kind of, which basically is the equivalent of a big old hug and a tongue kiss from them. That's all you can do.
Right.
So I channeled some of those guys and those people I knew into those characters,
Okay.
And
so they don't really want to kill me. That's not what they're saying. It's kind of tongue in cheek a little bit.
yeah. And I would love to see. Sometimes they really do wish. I mean, it's been a long day, a boring day. I would love to like go into one of the homes of the Imperial Guards and see them with their hair down, so to speak. What are they like?
What are they? Yeah, what are they doing? I mean, we've seen them go on swims, but they do it fully armored. We've seen them venture about. But yeah, what do they go into the watchtower, they take off their armor, they sleep, and then they get right back to it. These guys have one mode.
Yeah, they appear to have no sense of humor, no life.
Nothing. They don't have hobbies. They don't have. I did want to ask you about that. Outside of gaming, voice acting, philanthropy, and of course, this kind of goes under the radar with the gaming community. But you are the stadium announcer for the Washington Capitals, which is
the arena announcer. I've been in it for 25 years. I get to say things like "Capitals goal scored by number 8, Alex Ovechkin."
That was awesome. I'm right now internally, I'm freaking out. We're gonna go to the arena. We have to right now.
The first time to do the arena, I said to Mark, I said, "How do you want me to handle this?" And he goes, "Do what you normally do with the Caps, only on steroids, because these are gladiators."
Is that how they? Okay, I was gonna say that's how they did it.
From Oblivion, because I'd only been doing the Caps at that point for about 3 years when we first did this. I've been doing the Caps for 25 years. But I was doing the arena announcing and getting out there, and it was, what it was. But then suddenly I started taking some of what I did here and applying it back towards the Caps. And it was amazing. It brought a certain energy. And then I started unleashing fury. And I was considered a young upstart at the time. How dare you bring that fan with energy to the microphone? You need to be this and that.
I bet people loved it.
Ooh. But then, what's weird, Joov? As people started leaving their jobs, they started replacing them in different cities with guys who sounded like me. And so suddenly, 25 years later, the young rebel, me, is old school suddenly. How did that happen?
Are you taking credit for the revolution in stadium announcers? Bringing back the, I guess, gladiatorial depth to their voices?
There weren't a lot of people who were doing it. I was one of the ones that were really going. But yeah, at least in hockey and football started following suit with that too. It used to just be very matter of fact, public address announcing. And I like to refer to it as arena announcing now, because it's a different kind of thing. We're not just doing the public address.
Yeah.
We're riding the feelings and the vibe and the energy of the fans. We are basically fans with a microphone, and we're leading the charge on the cheer.
Are the Capitals in the playoffs right now? I'm not the biggest hockey guy.
We're in second round versus the Carolina Hurricanes. Wow. We lost last night by 1 point in overtime. But we'll come back. We'll see. I've already got one Stanley Cup ring, which is very cool.
Do you do?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that they give one to the stadium announcer. I just think that that's badass. I just think it's cool.
The best. It's the best ring a dude ever gave me. Uncle Ted gave me this ring. It's a, Stanley Cup championship ring. I also used to do the tennis team called the Castles, and they won many championships. I got rings for them. I've done some baseball. I've done some tennis. I do professional tennis in town for the City Open. So when the professional tennis players come in, I announce that. And in the meantime, I'm a cartoonist and a writer. Basically, I'm a storyteller in as many things as I possibly can be, and they're just different mediums, whether it be the voice acting, regular acting. I've done film and TV. If you go to YouTube right now, you can find a Star Trek fan film that I played a Klingon in.
I think I've seen that. You might have posted about it on social media one day.
Yeah, yeah, and I had the full walnut head makeup because it was a lot of fun to do, a lot of fun to play that character, and I have one that's out at the festivals right now where I play a very, very bad man, and people see that and they're like, "Wes, oh my God!" I remember going to LA to film that one and getting on an airplane, and as I'm in the line, TSA sees me. My hair, this is all darker brown. The beard's become darker brown. The hair looks like Nick Nolte on a bender. And they pull me out of the crowd and nearly strip search me because I look so sus.
Really?
And yeah, yeah. And finally they let me go and they're like, "Oh, by the way, is this yours?" And they hand me my case for my earbuds. And I go, "Oh yeah, my Apple earpods." Pods. So I take them and I get on the airplane to head to LA, and I hear like 3 crying babies already, and I'm thinking, well, thank God for noise cancellation. And I open up the thing, and they're gone. It's empty. They're not there.
They took it from you?
I go to find my iPhone, and I see that the earpods are still in security, but I can't get there because I'm already on the plane. So we take off 5 hours. We're in airplane mode, so I can't check my things. When I get to LA, I put on Find My iPhone again, and one of my earbuds is in an apartment complex in Alexandria, Virginia, suddenly. And the other one is in a place called Dierks, Arkansas.
Wait.
I didn't know a place called Dierks, Arkansas existed. Now my one of my earpods is there.
So did they stole your AirPods and they decided like divvy them up? I'll take this one, you take that one. They won't be able to track us.
Threw my stuff around. One person picked it up like spare chewing gum. A kid picked up one elsewhere. And, I mean, Dierks, Arkansas and Alexandria, Virginia, that's some real spatial audio right there.
Wow. Quick question.
Yeah.
Blue team or yellow team in the arena?
I don't know. It depends. I haven't played it again. I haven't played it in the arena in about 15 years.
We like to just gamble. My chat loves to gamble fake imaginary money on the matches at the arena, and we are hardcore. At least I am. I'm a hardcore yellow team fan. And so we'll usually go in, and I never bet blue team, even though in order to become grand champion, you have to you have to be on the blue team. Welcome there you are.
Good people of the city of Cyrodiil. Welcome.
Do you want to do play-by-play? There might be a little bit of a delay with the stream.
Yes, just a bit.
Just a couple of seconds. But this is a pretty even match, both coming out with long swords. Normally you don't see that. A lot of times you'll see someone coming out hand to hand, but this is evenly matched. Same weapon, same helmet.
Thank you, Volterac, for donating. We've got Mickey donated, Beakleby, Volterac. Guys, thank you very much. Anonymous dropped in $50.
We definitely have to go through. Well, that was a crazy move. We definitely have to go through the donations here at some point. I just need to make sure that my funds I've put into the Yellow Team Dynasty are secure and safe real quick. And then we can...
Is that blue or is that green that he's wearing?
This is yellow. This is blue. Looks, yeah, they are a bit muddy in this version. They're not as clean and bright as the original.
Yeah.
I just don't know what they're swinging at sometimes. Like,
Those are heavy swords, though. Those got to be like 50 pounds.
you ever
of
swung a
metal.
sword? No!
Yeah.
What the? I'm not gonna swear. I'm a professional today. I'm not getting angry.
Rest easy, warrior. You've earned it.
Kind of a packed crowd tonight. Ushija, he never shows up.
They're drinking cheap wine up in there.
Oh, I meant to show you this, but I showed this to my chat briefly at the start. I got to see you at Twin Cities Con real briefly, and we got a great shot. I think we did a great job. Good pose.
Pose there, definitely.
Yeah, I was so nervous and so afraid. I don't know why, because I've just never done anything like that.
I couldn't bring the Wabajack. They won't let me bring it on the airplane. It's too heavy.
Really?
They think it's a weapon.
It is I mean,
it is.
Technically,
imagine
yeah.
pilot into a chicken mid-flight.
I think we've had enough plane problems the last several months. We probably don't need to transmogrify any of our pilots.
To get out to the con in Bloomington. Would that be one that you'd go to, Joov?
Is that Indiana?
No, Minnesota.
Probably not. But I don't know. When is it?
That one I think is in August. There are a couple of different ones coming up. If you come out to one of the ones that are in Minnesota that are near Minneapolis, we could go get a Juicy Lucy together.
Oh, I'm down simply for the experience of coming back to tell my chat that I did that. That's essentially why I went to go get a picture with you, so that I could get it, come back to stream, and brag to everybody and say, yeah, I got a picture of Shagoroth. Yeah.
You bought that by the booth after I'd assigned it for you.
I should have. I also got caught in line, and, you know, I don't mean this in an offensive way, but it is Anakin Skywalker, so the line was much more painful and long. But I did get one with Anakin as well. I did it in my Oblivion shirt. Made sure to do it with that. So nice. I didn't get a chance. I was with a friend as well. At that point in the day, I had been standing for so long. We just wanted to get a cocktail and...
All the grief that he got during the times of filming that, the lines at every show that he is at.
Unbelievable. So many people. And it is like multiple time slots. They were very serious as well. Getting up there, you take off your jacket, you hand your bag over, and they go, no handshakes, no hugging.
But you can make them turn their head and cough. So there is that.
I did shake his hand, though. I said, it's a pleasure to meet you. I appreciate your work. And he extended his hand, so I was going for it. If I can shake Anakin Skywalker's hand, I'm doing it.
Yeah, if they initiate it, it's fine. And one of my favorite pictures that I ever had done with somebody was when I did with John Barrowman from Captain Jack from Doctor Who.
Not familiar, but...
Oh, he was wearing high heels and a pair of like real tight panties. Guy's got some legs. It was very funny. It was me and my niece and him dressed like that, and it was just like, it's one of my favorite photos.
I think, do you want to start up a quest here? I saved a couple of quests that we haven't done in the Imperial City, and one of them I felt was very fitting for having you on board with. It's the Corrupt Imperial Watchman quest. I just don't know exactly how to start it. I think it's in here.
In the feed bag?
Someone somewhere complains about a watchman taking their money.
What?
Okay, I'm glad this guy's so happy to see me.
Everyone's talking about the assassination of...
No, not him.
How do you like the new Persuasion game?
I think it's the same as the original one, but they changed the look and the camera angle of it. Okay, so among, like, if you had a group of 3 friends, one of them's a diehard Morrowind fan, one of them's diehard Oblivion, one of them's diehard Skyrim. I'm the Skyrim guy, or Sky Baby, as a lot of the internet refers to, and I am a little bit of a hater of some of the mechanics in Oblivion. I really don't like the speech wheel. I think it's very stupid. And it'll get some people hot when I say that. I think it's fine though. The way that they've redone it, no complaints. And I'm glad it's there because it's very
No, but
Oblivion.
the more you play, you're going to be suddenly like, oh God, I like it.
It's over, citizen. The crisis is.
By the way, for
was an
Amy,
honor to speak.
Amy out there is getting a job interview today. Good luck. Go get them.
You are perfect fit for the stream. We're always shouting out people who are doing job interviews. Could be this guy.
I'm Jer. I'm a dip.
He's
A pickpocket. But relax, you're safe from me. You look like you might take offense. Too risky.
I thought he was calling himself an idiot. I'm a dip.
Yeah.
I'm a dipshit. I thought that's what he was saying.
To you. I'm so
Well, I mean, haircuts aren't everything.
blessings of Stendhal.
Who is it? I think it's a guy in either the Temple District or Talos Plaza who gives us the quest. I think go see Jensine. Jensine is for that's for the Thorinir quest. It could be for this one. Okay, it might be here.
Maybe the Thornir is.
Pity, beautiful lady.
I remember seeing him and thinking,
I'm
oh,
so
when I first spoke to him, there's something
blessings
about
that
him. Then
truly
when
are
people
not
started
so
talking about
hard.
him, it brought it back for me.
I will find this man somewhere because I walked past him and I made sure to avoid the conversation because I wanted to do the quest on stream. And
Clock Monarch liked Ard Caddick. Not many people talk about Ard Caddick. He's straight up Scottish as opposed to Sheagorath, who's a mixture of Scottish and Irish, and then sometimes nothing altogether.
Are you, do you have Scottish and Irish heritage? Is that where a lot of Sheagorath comes from?
I do, but I mean, that was one of the ones I had a full week to think about the character ahead of time, and they're saying they wanted somebody who could be funny, dangerous, maybe a stand-up. They said maybe a Robin Williams type, but I thought, no, Robin would be way too cuddly. I'll skip rope with your entrails.
That's also
No.
a lot. That's a lot to live up to.
Yeah, well, I mean, but Robin's not as scary. Robin's not that scary.
He is silly, yeah.
Yeah, so I started thinking of different folks, I thought about Bobby Slayton, who's known as the pit bull of comedy, but he's a little too Jersey. You know what I mean?
Move along.
So I didn't think a Jersey kind of Sheagorath would be the way to go. And then I thought about Billy Connolly, Scottish comedian. And I don't do an impression of him so much as he was like my spirit animal. And then I used a little Irish from a guy that I knew from the Irish Channel in Washington, D.C.
Bill Connolly was his name? The inspiration?
Yeah. So and I figured between Domania and Mencha, he'd swing back and forth, back and forth. And then occasionally Sheagorath will drop it all together when he gets malevolent. Like when he's talking about brain pie. He's doing a little bit more of the Irish, and he talks about brain pie. And then he goes, perfect, into the Scottish, and then says, care to donate.
I
And
haven't
drops
played
it all together because it's all affectation for him.
I haven't played through Shivering Isles in years and years, simply because I want to save kind of my first time going through it genuinely again for recording and content purposes. We've done the quest in Skyrim a handful of times, but I am excited to go meet the original Sheagorath again. Or at least the first iteration I'm most familiar with.
His hair is not as gray. In fact, he looks more like me, the way I used to look, than he looks now. The funny thing is, after I got the Staff of Sheagorath, I started mantling him and looking like he looked originally. Now he's looking like he mantled me, what I used to look like. It's all very confusing.
Someone said I've always loved the progression of Sheagorath's voice as the Grey March gets closer. I assume he kind of changes as you go through the quest line.
Especially at the very end, as he's transforming. That's one of my favorite things to do, watching as he's transforming and he's slipping and watching the almighty and the hubris-laden Sheagorath suddenly become vulnerable and have things start to slip. Oh, it's moments like that that are just, I love them. I love them.
How can I assist you, champion?
I am struggling to find. Somebody said that it was an orc. I believe there's an orc and there's a red guard who complain about Hieronymus Lex to start the quest. So I'm ambling about hoping to run into one of them. But I think this is a good time. This is a good time to go through and see if on the donation list, if there are any like questions or if there's any good messages that people might have left on there. Oh my gosh, there are quite a lot of these. I think we're at about 2,500, which is amazing. Thank you, everybody. Brief round of applause for everybody to celebrate. Thank you. Good job. Proud of everybody.
Thank you all.
Most of them.
Right one, Olivia and Ben Adefan.
Ben said, yeah, many thanks to both of you. Can you see these as well?
I see some of that, yeah.
Oh, I covered you up.
That's okay.
How did I do that?
Cover me up.
Oh, it's because I'm doing monitor. It's because I'm doing a monitor share for your camera. So if you're able to go through them, absolutely. We'd make a great team. If you went through the donation messages, if people left any, I can try to find the quest and get it started. If you have if you have access to them.
I don't know if I have access. I see them as they come up.
Okay, then I'll go through them here. Hopefully without covering your face. There we go. So, okay, Ben donated 50 and said, many thanks to the both of you for the stream and the fundraiser. Thank you, Ben. Olivia donated 10. Raven donated 50. Titanium 25. FIFA Pro 10. Merg donated 100.
Wow, Merg.
This is one of my close friends, so they might be just messing around by saying, thank you, Joov, for being such an amazing content creator. I think they're just messing around with me there. And thank you, Wes.
That's okay. Grab that and use it then in the future.
Right, this part genuine. And thank you, Wes, for all the incredible work you've made throughout your career. You guys are two of my favorite persons ever and amazing human beings. Wait, this is a different person. This is not my friend. This is Volferact. I'm reading it wrong. So they were being genuine, thanking me. Much love from Brazil, they said.
Much love back to Brazil. We got a good contingent in Brazil down there of fans, and
huge. So many Elder Scrolls fans in Brazil. There's been a lot that come through my chat often as well. Becky, our editor, sent a heart and donated 10. Thank you, Becky.
Thank you, Becky.
Mickey said, my grandma was affected by Alzheimer's. I miss her tales about the show dogs she raised. Love you, Grandma. And thank you, Mickey.
And you get to keep those memories, and you are the one who holds on to them. And thank you for the donation in your grandmother's name. I feel that.
There was an anonymous $50 donation. Protect Me Cone said, let's go Caps, in all caps. Olivia donated 10. Thank you, Olivia. De Sniper donated 5. There were a couple more anonymous donations in there. Mornge said, let's go Gamers. Another anonymous donation for 100. Llama Punched donated 15. Shady Shadow said, I don't have much, but I want to help. And they donated $2. Hey, that's all good. Thank you. Like we said earlier, cup of coffee.
I like Scrunchy just donated $10, but Scrunchy's has so many E's at the end. It's like they started to say their name.
She's a good friend and moderator of the channel. She is going to be freaking out right now that you called her out by name. I guarantee it. She's mentioned in the chat a few times. Joov, ask Wes what his favorite baseball team is, which I assume it's the Nationals.
The Nationals. But I used to follow the Orioles too. I used to be a season ticket holder, partial season ticket holder for the Orioles, and I would sit out there along the first base line in the sun. You get yourself a beverage and a nice hot dog. There's no calmer, copacetic place on earth.
While on the topic of baseball,
Bud, is it Bud? $100 donation. It's hard for me to see. Is that Bud or Buxel?
I am not sure. I might have to refresh the donation page I'm on because I'm going through, I think, chronologically. But on the topic of baseball,
yeah,
I love, even as hard as they are to watch, I'm a Chicago White Sox fan, and it is it's tough.
A long-suffering fan.
It's tough. It's so bad out here. But you know what? Hey, we have a cool hat. You know, at least we're relevant in, I guess, hip hop music videos.
There we go.
Culinary donated 100 and said, thank you, Joov and Wes, for doing this stream and this fundraiser. Heart. Fuck Alzheimer's. Also, thank you, Wes, for being so open and vulnerable with us. Second that. You know, I figured we would have some fun and come on the stream, but genuinely, I think it is inspiring and really, really cool to see someone that so many of us have known through your voice for so many years come on here and be so passionate and be, you know, vulnerable about something that is probably much easier to talk about now than it was, but still at times hard to talk about.
It can be hard to talk about, but this is the sort of thing since basically coming back in Atlanta in January that I see in life that I try to focus less on things that are bad in this world and to look at the beauty. And I mean, when I look at everybody reaching out and the things they're doing, like Tau Commander 117 just put out $100 in Dark Xeon with 50 and Chera with 20. I mean, we're up over $3,000 right now, Juve.
Are we?
That means every dollar is going to go to help somebody who's hurting and a family who's hurting and to work on research to try to make things better. In a world right now where they keep saying we're going to cut funds here, we're going to cut funds there, and we're not going to do it. Well, you know what? That doesn't mean it's the be all and end all. Just because they're saying we're going to cut off some federal funds. The fact of the matter is we the people, the humans, the folks who love are going to bring light and are going to help bring about cures that are important, that mean something. We believe in science, right? We believe in science, we believe in love, and we believe in kindness. And I'm seeing so much of that going on in this room here today. And I'm blown away by the generosity. Thank you.
I'm always, the few times that we have done charity stuff on stream, I am always blown away and humbled by, I guess, the kind words and the, just the kindness of random people. You'll see some bullshit on the internet or you'll see some nasty stuff here and there. But for the most part, at our core, people are good folks. If you can wade through the muck that is all out there on the internet, the real, for lack of a better term, dickheads will stick out and kind of, they'll ruin your day for a couple minutes. But, most people
wade through the hate sometimes, but the fact of the matter is there are really, really wonderful souls that are out in this world. And you just have to sometimes block out those who are going to scream and yell. We have a new puppy, by the way. His name is Finn. And he is... You
personally or the charity has like a...
No, I personally have. We lost our dog, Cozy.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear.
Years in January, the beginning of January. And then I did die and came back. It was a tough couple of weeks for my wife. I don't know which was worse, losing a dog.
That is, my mother in the same half year lost her sister and best friend and her other best friend and dog. And you're right. It's almost hard to tell, which one hit harder. Not to make light of, something that is sad, but no
matter how much you love your relatives, they're not going to give you a happy butt dance when you come in the door at the end of the day.
Exactly.
But we ended up getting a new puppy, and oh my goodness, they have the energy that could light a million suns, and they alternately, he's like the most fluffy, sweet, cozy little beanbag thing, just loving, and then he turns into this rabid squirrel on crack.
Oh yeah,
and
they get the zoomies.
Oh, massive zoomies, wrestling, fighting, lunging, jumping. He is mini dachshund, but the thing is, it's his bark. He has a bark that has got such a high pitch on it occasionally that it will pierce your brain.
Yeah. If they get all excited, it can almost hurt.
Yeah, and his name is Finn. Finnegan, we call him Finn. And his tail goes so rapidly when he sees you and he loves you. That's his Finn fan. Just
Finn fan. I love that. We've had a couple of Aussies in our family, and their tails are always we've always called them nub tails. They're very, very short, but they will still they'll still go back and forth, and you see the little nub going. It's the most adorable thing.
A dancing nub. That's a bar you don't want to go into, by the way.
I've heard bad things. I tend to avoid it when I can. I'm gonna go through and finish off a couple more of these donations so we can get hot back up.
Yes. Oh, look at Nbeard with 100. We've got Chloe with 50. Strong Light with 10. We've got Luke 3227. With 25, I only get 4 at a time, guys, or I'd be calling
Yep.
out more of.
So I have the comments here as well. Someone anonymous sent 25. They said, awareness is key. Spread the love. Remember the good in the world. Thanks to you both for your humanity.
Yeah.
I almost don't know how to take compliments like that. Sometimes like humanity. Oh my gosh, that is so uplifting. I'm just a dork that likes to swear and go on stupid adventures in these games. I'm glad people enjoy them though. I'm always blessed and thankful. Mopar said, thanks Joov and Wes. They donated 10. Buxel said they donated 100. You called out Buxel earlier. They said, thank you Joov and Wes for bringing so much joy to this community. Heart, love from Arizona. And then there's Scrunchy again. She was yelling at me to read her message. She said, hi Wes. Thank you all so much for the work that you do. Love you, bestie. And then Ben Adafon donated again. Many thanks to both of you for the stream and the fundraiser. But yeah, I think
Lisa H just said the Dancing Nub goes country western after midnight, and it's not her.
It does sound, the country nub sounds like something you would see in kind of like a knockoff Coyote Ugly.
Yeah. Things got pretty ugly down at the Dancing Nub the other night.
Can we get that as a modded quest? Would you sign on board to do voice acting work for a modded quest at the Dancing Nub?
Welcome to the Dancing Nub. Come on, you got to get more of a Sam Elliott work there.
What do you think about? I've seen some hubbub and some discussion about the distinction between the term acting and voice acting. Like, do you consider yourself an actor?
It's just an actor. It's an actor. I mean, the thing is, when you're in front of a microphone, you still got to show your expression. You still have to move.
Emote.
You still have to be and put yourself in that moment and make it real. The people who think you're just reading, that becomes very flat and will take you immediately out of the immersion of it.
I'll usually, for good portions of a lot of the videos that I do on YouTube, it will just be, scripted narration that I read from my chair. Yeah. But people can tell I talk with my hands a lot and move around, or I emote quite a lot as I'm going through it.
It helps the emotion of the voice. You can hear movement. The microphone, I like to say, sees everything. Oh, you just jumped over that guy.
Yeah, this is one of the things we have to do on the island that's gotten us a lot of loot and money, is just sprint through this cave, open up all the chests, and take everything we can. So we found a decent amount of very good, like this shield right here, very, very expensive. I'm kind of hoarding everything, so at the end of this adventure...
Where are you at with that shield?
What's that? Where are we at?
Yeah, where's that shield hidden?
It's just randomly generated loot. So all of the chests in here, it's kind of like a dice roll. It's a bit of a gamble every time we come in. I skip past all the enemies. We hit this rock here. Shortcut. So we don't even go through the dungeon, really. I've just been coming through here.
This is basically the Oblivion equivalent of the Roadrunner, and all the enemies are Wile E. Coyote going, oh!
Yep. I've probably come through here now on this playthrough over 100 times. There's a thing in Oblivion that happens. It's unique to Oblivion. Skyrim, it takes more time for dungeons to refill with enemies, so you can run. Oh, my baby boy! He doesn't make it through here very often. I think in Skyrim it takes about 30 days for a dungeon to refill with enemies, and in Oblivion it's every 3 days for the entire dungeon, all of its loot to reset. So I've kind of been on autopilot.
Take care, Fairy Kate. Fairy Kate has to go.
Does she have to get out of here? Fairy Kate, goodbye. Thank you. Thank you very much for supporting today's stream. Even just being here is, in a way, supportive. Like, you could, of course, donate $1 or $2, but the awareness is also important as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And some folks who can't donate also have this in their family and need to hear that all they have to do is go to alz.org and they can find help 24/7. They have a hotline you can call at any hour of the day. And with Alzheimer's and things of that sort and the nature of those diseases, they happen 24/7. There is no timeline.
You're really good at that. Just kind of pulling out the, the pitch here's the website, here's where you go, here's where you get access to
It's
information.
important that people
Oh
know
yeah,
if people know where that is, you know.
it is.
Because I never had that phone number. That's why I never had those numbers of those websites and had to go through it and just sort of feel it out
Yeah,
and deal.
I didn't think about that where, you know, you mentioned you lost your mother 8 years ago. So you likely had been a part of this battle long before that. If I had to guess, you know, somewhere around 10 years, maybe even more, depending on when it started for her. And at that
What made
time,
my mother is she had just retired and gotten to the point where she wanted to travel and see the world and do things and got locked out by her own body. You know, you
mhm,
work your entire life to get somewhere and then to be betrayed by your body and by your mind and by this disease is
yeah,
just devastating, just devastating. Oh yeah, Scrunchy having the grandmother not eating because she couldn't remember.
yeah,
There's
basic, you know, there are some basic functionalities that you start
Elvis
to.
Costello did a song called Veronica. You ever heard that?
I haven't. I'm not great when it comes to music knowledge. I'm more of a, I guess, TV shows and sometimes movies. I'm trying to be more of a movie guy. What's the song? Veronica, Elvis Costello.
Called Veronica. Elvis Costello wrote it with Paul McCartney, and Elvis sang it. And Paul's in the background doing harmonies you don't know, but it's basically Veronica is a woman who's in a home who has Alzheimer's disease, and it's a catchy pop song. And as you're singing along to it, and if you start listening to the words, you go, "Oh man," you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, get a chance to listen to that. It's a good song for one, and two, it's a
Veronica.
good message.
I'm trying to mentally write it down as best I can.
For all of you out there who talk about your grandmothers and your parents and your mom and everyone having had Alzheimer's, know that you're not alone in this world. There are people just like you and who want to help. And now you can help. You can help by donating or spreading the word and getting information out to people to go to the Alzheimer's Association. And again, you say we talk about grandparents and things of this sort and all that.
See
Um,
anything you like?
it could affect
Every
us. People who are
it's
younger
bigger.
every day are starting to be affected by it. And, you know, there but for the grace of God go I, that old phrase. You could be fighting to end a disease right now that could be affecting you yourself someday. And because we're on the cusp of
You've
medicines
got
that are
some nimble
breaking through
fingers.
this, we could be curing something now while we can, while we have our wits and our funds and our energy and our drive together that will help us when the time comes for us in particular, but also helps families today, helps your family now. It's it's really it makes me feel good knowing that we're not completely helpless. And Juve, I felt completely helpless with my mother
Mm-hmm.
and with and I don't ever want to feel that way again, and I don't want anybody else to have to feel that way again.
Yeah, I mean it's a noble and brave thing. I think it's an inspiring thing to use sort of the platform that, you know, you've been given. I don't want to say that you've been given, that you've worked for throughout your career for, you know, something that's good, something that is hard to explain. Really, like you said, education and, you know, information
Yeah,
is really, really
we keep
important.
fighting. Yeah, and we keep fighting these things. I mean, Fallout for Hope with Kenneth Vigio has been raising up almost close to
Yeah,
$1 million now over the past several
it's
years, fighting different things, heart disease, St. Jude's, fighting cancer. I work with Craig Laughlin for his charities to fight rare cancers, and like sending out word, by the way, to Blazing Voltage about his aunt with cancer, and she's dealing with that. And so sending much love to you. It's horrible when you feel helpless in the face of diseases, and that's why we fight. We do what we can right now. You know, the old phrase, pay it forward. Well, we do. We pay it forward, but also sometimes uh, I've been fighting for people for a while now. So when I had my medical emergency in January and people came out for me. I was blown away, blown away by the love and the concern and the caring.
It's
You don't
yeah.
expect that when you pay it forward, it's coming back to you, and that's not why I do it. But I spent many hours crying, grateful tears for the people who helped me, who helped my family, for my wife and my kids, to be able to read the things that they saw that people were saying. It meant the world to me. It still means the world to me. So thank you all.
Thank you,
Sorry.
chat. Thank you to the community. It was, I do remember when that happened, we talked about it briefly on stream, and I'm not good at more serious topics like that. I'm pretty sure I found out about it shortly before a stream or during a stream, and then the GoFundMe was live while we were on stream. And yeah, I could even see almost in real time things started to pour in, and that had to have been a pretty special moment for you to after giving so much to wake up one day, you are alive again, and you've gotten so
when
much.
you get like $500,000 in medical bills that start flooding in, and I was telling my wife while I was intubated, trying to mouth the words and hold her hand and tell her how sorry I was. So I'm sorry. I felt I'd let everybody down. And she bent down. I would never have pulled a trigger on a GoFundMe. I wouldn't have done these things. I'm like, I don't know. They say you're too proud or this or that or whatever, but it was there. She leaned down and she whispered in my ear and she said, "It's going to be okay." And they kept things away from me for about a week. They didn't want me to be online. They didn't want me to see things. So when I finally saw stuff, it was
Overwhelming, I assume. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even imagine. I've been almost, I guess, privileged, you know, to a certain degree, to just not have a real scare. I've never experienced anything like that, even in terms of, you know, I have 3 of my 4 blood grandparents still. I'm almost 30 years old. I'm incredibly privileged like that, so I couldn't even imagine going through something like that and coming out the other side. It's a unique experience that is easy to sympathize with, but hard to empathize with. It's hard to, or maybe that's not the right way to put it. It's
it
hard
was
to, I guess,
terrifying
you
at
know.
the time when I woke up. You want to hear something weird?
Of course.
I'd just gone to sleep, and they found me many hours later. I was
Yeah.
about a half away from being gone for good when they finally got to me.
Was that how close it was? It was about a half an hour. I know the general gist of the story that you were
Yeah.
found.
My wife had to call,
Right.
because I woke up at 4:30 in the morning after sleeping all day. Got to the airport, got to Atlanta, fell asleep in my clothes with my shoes on the bed. As soon as I got in, I was so exhausted and tired. Just dropped the bag and hit the bed. 4:30 in the morning, I wake up and I send a text to my wife saying, "Sorry, I slept through the night." I'd gotten there a day early because I wanted to get a scope of things, and you know, nobody was expecting me at the Alzheimer's Association yet, so nobody knew I was really there. I then kicked off my shoes, pulled the blanket on me, and that's the end. That could have been the end of me right there. There were typos all through the thing I sent to my wife. She saw it the next morning. She tried to reach me all day, leaving messages, phone messages, texting. And at the end of her workday, she called the hotel. They said, "Sorry, the rooms are booked by the Alzheimer's Association. We can't just go in." And she called my son, who called the security guard up, and he didn't want to go in. He said, "My father's missing. If you don't check the room, I'll call the police, and if they break your door down, then that's on you." Fine. Then they end up calling 911. Then the paramedics report me as unresponsive with very little pulse, and then I had to be resuscitated on the way to the hospital, put on life support,
Wow.
and coma for 4 days, intubated. They had to do dialysis for 3 days to clear my organs, blood transfusions, all sorts of extraordinary measures, and told my wife I wasn't going to make it. But I did, and I think a lot of it had to do with so many people out there who are thinking of me and praying for me and pulling for me. I have to feel like there are so many people in the universe who are on my side. The doctors say that people coming in like me, they don't make it. The nurses and doctors said they were very happy to talk to me because normally when they get a patient in my condition come in, they never speak to them again.
Yeah.
I did come back, and I felt when I finally realized where I was, because I had no idea whether it was a heart attack, a stroke. I didn't realize I'd starved basically to death. When I came, I felt like I'd been living my life for months. So when they told me I'm still in Atlanta, I'm like, I'm all the way back there? It was kind of like I'd played through the game, got killed, and then had to go back to a point.
Go back to a
because I
previous
thought
point.
so long. You know? I mean, that's the closest thing I could talk about and feel it was like. You know a story called the book Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut?
I am familiar with the author's name, but not the book. I am not a good reader.
The character is unstuck in time. And I was
Unstuck.
kind of unstuck in time.
What does it mean to be unstuck in time? Or are you saying that the experience of the book is similar to
his life and living different segments of his life, and suddenly he's youthful, then he's old, then he's back, and
Okay.
it's worth reading. Slaughterhouse-Five is an amazing, mind-twisting piece of material. It's one of the best things Vonnegut ever wrote. So if you get a chance to read that, check it out. The movie was okay too, but the book is better.
Book is better?
Yeah.
I've always again, this is completely unrelated, but I've always jokingly fought with people and been like, no, the book's never better because it doesn't have music and characters, and obviously just messing around, but what's it called again?
Slaughterhouse-Five.
Slaughterhouse-Five.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get made fun of for even saying that. That stupid segue.
There was a time that the guy spent in World War II when he was a young man, and that's where he's bouncing back and forth between. We have so many people right now, Joov, talking about having lost family, parents.
Yeah, just seeing people. I think it's great to see people feel comfortable enough in this space to share their stories as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can share, and that's the thing. Share with people, tell the story, get support. You don't have to do this alone. Even if you're not the main caregiver, you are a caregiver, and you can get help for somebody who is the main caregiver. We've seen it just. My brother lost his mother-in-law, but she was living with them, and it changed her personality, and they had young kids at the time. And it traumatized the kids. And they had to do all this by themselves, alone. And at the time, it would have been so wonderful to have the support of like an Alzheimer's association. And even if just a matter of in the middle of the night, when things are so hard and you're exhausted and at your wit's end, and you go to alz.org and you look up that 24-hour hotline number, which is right on the main page, and you call, and there's somebody there who understands. Having somebody who understands can mean the world, can change everything.
Sorry, one sec. I was looking at something on my phone. I had a bunch of bullet points of different questions and things that we could get into, but I've gone through.
Hit me with some questions. Ask me.
You know what the last one I have on here? I didn't get enough put down on here. The last one I have on here, which is just embarrassing to follow up, an incredible in-depth conversation about a health scare that you had and how much this fundraiser means to you and how much research into Alzheimer's means to you. What's your favorite fast food? that's the best.
Wow.
We talk about food on stream a lot.
I would say if you could go to a Roy Rogers and get one of their roast beef sandwiches.
Roy Rogers.
Yeah, Roy Rogers is just a local thing. But then if you can't get that, go to Arby's and get a beef and cheddar.
That sounds like a rock band, not a fast food restaurant. Where's it normally based out of?
Roy Rogers was an old movie cowboy, and those are on the East Coast.
East
I
Coast.
don't.
Okay.
I mean, I love Shake Shack. Get me a Smoke Shack, Shake Shack burger.
I've been to Shake Shack. Only one time.
If you're out on the West Coast, go to Fat Burger or something like that. I'm one who thinks that, and people might find this blasphemous, but I think In-N-Out Burger is way overrated.
Wow, really? I think the burger is great. Everything else, I think, kind of sucks there.
Yeah, I mean the burger is a burger. It's a burger. It's not a bad burger, but it's not the be all and end all burger.
I think I give them a few extra points because consistently when I've gone there, they have ice cold snappy lettuce. You know when lettuce is kind of put on last and it's not
Right.
wilted and swampy. Instead, it's got that cold, crisp snap. That for me is, I think it gives it some points for me. But my favorite is Culver's, which you've.
Do you ever go to Panera?
Yes, I have been to Panera.
Recently, I've been addicted to their autumn harvest squash soup. So good, so good.
Really, I'm.
Five Guys burgers are really, really good. I think those are more of an East Coast kind of thing as well.
Five Guys, I think, is somewhat popular here in the Midwest.
Their fries are really good.
Sorry. I'm trying to game here and I'm fumbling. There we go.
Yeah, the Fat Burger. Yeah, Mason Jar. The Fat Burger. One thing I love is they get the one with pastrami on it.
Is that at Five
I'm
Guys?
the guy who loves a good egg on a burger.
Dude, I love an egg. I do love an egg on a burger. I think that if you don't like an egg on a burger, you're just afraid of greatness. I think you're afraid of raising your palate to a level it hasn't been to before. And I think if you can take that next step to a bacon egg burger, it's
Egg, what do you put an egg on there? I'm like, I don't know. Eggs and meat. It seems like that's never been done, right? You ever had breakfast before?
right. I don't understand the confusion surrounding it at times when it happens.
When we go, there's a restaurant here in the DC area called Celebrity Deli, and they actually have a Wes Johnson sandwich, which is
Wait,
great
really?
because I can go there with people and tell them to eat me. But it's roast beef and provolone. No, not provolone. Roast beef, Munster cheese, coleslaw, Thousand Island dressing on grilled sourdough, and if you go full Johnson, you get it with the fried egg. It's amazing.
I'm hung up on walking into a restaurant and ordering something full Johnson.
There we go. You can't go wrong with
Okay, sorry. Is mature. We are mature. This is a serious stream. Okay.
Robin, they have one burger with pineapple on it.
Couldn't do that.
Oh, it's so good.
No, I could not go in the direction of pineapple on a burger. I'm just not a pineapple.
It's the sweet with the savory at the same time. Sweet and savory at the same time are great. You ever go to Trader Joe's?
Yeah. Trader Joe's is really popular in the Midwest.
They have a chip there. It's the trail mix chip, and it's got all sorts of things on it. And it is savory, it is sweet, it is crunchy, it is chewy, it is all things at once, and it's just amazing.
Okay.
Could you hold on for one moment? I'll be right back. I promise.
Bathroom? Or I guess it doesn't
yes,
matter. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I asked that. Okay, not a podcast host, not good at doing this. Just do your thing. Take care of what you have to. I'll go through some of the alerts and donations that we missed. GD, thank you very much for the donation and very kind message. Neth, good to see you. Thank you for donating 25. Love to put your mod making skills to the use one day in the future to help in some ways. Hey, if we were able to create a charity mod, that would be awesome. Hod Howard, thank you very much for 10. Hallie said from England, doing my part. Thank you for 10. George, thank you as well. Do it so you can... true. I should go through the messages themselves when he's here can actually see the kind words that people have left. I know, I was going half and half. Guys, I'm not a professional. All right, I'm trying my best here. I'm doing the best I can. This I had no idea how this was gonna go or how things would happen. The game, are we even playing Oblivion really? I did kind of cook those Minotaur lords, not gonna lie. Be for real, are you freaking out internally? No, I wouldn't say that. I would say, I'm more so just trying to do the best I can. That's all. I'm a very, it's a cool sort of thing. I promise I'm not sweating. I promise. I'll do a pit check live. Oh, hi, Wes.
Hello.
My chat was asking me how nervous I am. They were asking if I'm sweating or not. I had to explain them. Not a professional at this. I'm just doing the best I can.
It's just you and me chatting, and we've met in person now at Twin Cities Con, and now we've had these long chats. It's like we're old buds.
Do you remember, this is kind of a throwback, but Ken invited me to play Celebrity Squares. I don't remember exactly who I played against, but there were a ton of great people on the panel. You were there, of course. Mike Rossum, is that his name, was on the panel?
Rawson, that's fantastic.
Rawson, he plays, I believe he plays all of the old codgers in Fallout 3. God bless the USA! One of my favorite voices that's been in these games.
He's also all the ghouls in Fallout 3 and 4.
He is all the ghouls?
Yeah.
Okay. I get him, I believe, mixed up with Jeff Baker sometimes, who I think only plays one ghoul in Fallout 3, albeit an important one.
Yeah, Jeff Baker is also fantastic. I followed Jeff back in the day. When I was in my 20s driving around, Jeff was on radio already doing impressions and comedy and things of that sort. And then we ended up in a comedy troupe together for a while. So Jeff and we did if anybody ever goes looking for an old thing, an old CD-ROM game that was an educational game for kids but was kind of fun, called Pigs by Interactive. I was the pig. Was I a pig? I was something. and Jeff Baker was like the wolf, and we did these early voiceovers on that, and we've been pals for a long time. He's just one of the most talented, sweetest guys you ever want to meet. And Mike Rawson and I go way back as well. There are folks out there that I've known forever who are so good, like Jan Johns and Sherry Elliker and Craig Seckler.
Right? He's right here.
Yeah. We did a thing for a Skyrim 10th anniversary, and we had all these folks come on from around the country, and we did it with Jessica Finster over at Bethesda, and Craig and I were the only ones who were there live, and I brought a troll wig with me. Craig has the most wonderful Pierce Brosnan hair you've ever seen in your life.
He does. I remember when he was on, he was doing some marketing stuff when they first revealed Starfield and the Adoring Fan was going to be in that game. I remember he posted a video, and I do remember thinking, like, oh, this guy's got great hair.
He does have great hair, and then I brought this yellow troll wig in and had him put it on over top of it, and it was one of the most glorious moments of my life, watching Craig put that over his hair. And you know what? He put it on, he did the voice, he then went on his TikTok page and did a thing, and I dressed up as Sheo, and then went on.
I think I remember this vaguely.
And that was fun. But Craig is just, you want to talk about a heartfelt guy. He's just a wonderful soul. Look at him go. I mean, I have to say, if someone shot me in the crotch with an arrow, I don't think I'd keep fighting.
See, he can eat a decent amount of shots. I guess I can go through the mechanics of it a little bit. We made a custom spell. I have returned home, son. So what it does is it hits him with rally, which means he's not going to run away from combat. We give him shield, which in Oblivion caps at 85%. And then we fortify his strength because he's punching people a lot. So he gets a good 30 seconds of solid armor and strength. I want to interrupt
you for a second. Anonymous, $250.
Whoa.
And $4,000.
Did we pass 4?
Yeah. You guys.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have to go to a thesaurus to find a word that, and I don't think there is one.
I have a vocab app on my phone. Let's see what the word of the day is. Let's see if it describes people.
Wow. Rock. So I interrupted you. Sorry, I got totally distracted.
You're good. The fundraiser and whatnot is more important than game mechanics.
No, continue the game mechanics because if you're going to shoot the adoring fan in the crotch with an arrow and he keeps going, I need to know how that works.
We hit him with this. Essentially, we give him 3 separate buffs to let him fight in combat. We give him some armor. We buff his strength. That's cool. Essentially all that happens there, but we need to play enough of a support. A cool thing that happens, though, which we didn't see happen much in that fight, is when you hit in Oblivion, level 50 hand-to-hand, which the Adoring Fan right now has level 51 hand-to-hand since he scales his levels with the player.
Right.
Your power attacks have a chance to disarm your opponents. Your attacks can hit creatures immune to physical damage. So when he power attacks and hits people in combat, they might drop their weapons, and we can pick them up before the enemy does. Meaning that when he comes back, maybe we can get the little disarm loop going where he's knocking weapons out of hands and we scoop him up and he does all our dirty work for us. But I think we need one more custom spell to really make him a weapon. That's one of the goals of this run, is to turn the Adoring Fan into a lethal weapon.
Yeah, give him the power of halitosis.
I should know what halitosis means. I'm not.
It means bad breath.
Oh, my sister is a dental hygienist. I've probably heard it from her mentioning it before.
Anonymous 2, $300 donation, pal.
Again?
Wow. This is Anonymous 2.
Anonymous 2? Is it a sequel?
Yeah.
I never saw the first, but I've heard good things.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Splendid Beans.
And thank you, Wes Johnson, for coming onto the stream today, being wonderful, being deep, honest, vulnerable, and for reading the donations better than I can while I give the bandits in this cave the absolute work.
Your job is to go out there and kill those guys.
My job is to kick ass.
Yeah. Yeah, you ever notice how sometimes you have a terrible, terrible day and you can just go into your game and slaughter everybody and somehow feel better? I think, that seems, thank you, Hun Bunby, thank you. It seems like an antisocial thing to do, but if you're going to murder somebody, do it in a video game. That's all I'm asking.
I think I'm really meeting with you there. I think that, we can contend on different points, but I think we would agree that, yeah, murder virtually is ethically superior to actual murder. And as a society, yeah, we should be taking out our anger in virtual worlds.
There are no save points in real life.
I can definitely meet with you there.
There are no save points in real life that you can go back. Although I do love that if you, at the end of a game, you're in a town and people have been sort of, douchey to you, and you save the game while you're talking to somebody, and then you come back and you slaughter the entire town, and then you go back to that save point and you're face to face with that person again, but they suddenly have this kind of
do you think they retain memory of it?
Feeling suddenly.
Okay. We got a lot of loot. Should I take you back to my stash?
Yeah, show me your stash.
It's pretty impressive. Normally when people ask to see my stash, they are I was going to make it stupid. They're talking about the one under my nose, not my virtual hoard of equipment in video games.
Once you start growing a beard in, it's hard to shave.
So hard to go back. It's when did you decide? Actually, this is a really, really important question. When did you decide to go goatee exclusive? Because that's a bold statement. It's a loud facial hair statement.
Yeah, goatee is more of a summer thing. The winter, I go with the full beard generally. Right now, I'm growing in because you don't shave during playoff season, so I could end up looking like the bomber the farther we go with the Capitals this year. But at a certain point, I've shaved the beard off a couple of times since I've been Sheogorath, And since I've started looking more like Shagorth and I started doing cameos for people, they get upset when suddenly Sheo shows up and he looks like a shaved cat. They don't like that.
They get mad at that?
Well, they're like, I have to use my imagination and pretend there's a beard there now.
Do people log complaints with you on Cameo?
No, they don't, but you can tell there's a little bit of disappointment. But I've shaved the beard off occasionally, every once in a while, and when you do, after having a beard for a long time, your face looks like it's made out of rubber. It's got that weird consistency, like you don't get used to it right away.
I've had my beard now, I think, for a decade, roughly. No, less than that. Maybe like 7 or so years ago, I decided I'm going to let it go. I had a barber line it up, and I was like, yeah, I definitely can never go back. I am terrified of the prospect of clean shaving my face. It's too smooth. It would accentuate the roundness in the lower half of my face. It would.
You drop so many years when you shave the beard off.
You drop years, like you look younger?
You would get carded. Me, I think I'm well past that point at this point. But for years, up through my 50s, when I would shave, I would end up looking like I was mid-30s again, In fact, the one movie that I did where even the beard is darker again, it takes the years off incredibly. I play a guy who's beating some kids around. I'm a bad man.
That's how I play Bethesda games.
The kid who played little Ricky Bobby in
Wait, what role was this where you were beating up kids?
It's a thing called Sanctuary, and I play a very, very bad man. And
is this a movie?
It's a short, and it's out at festivals right now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I look much younger in it, but it's still just me. That's the thing I love about doing acting is you can play different roles. I love it when people don't know that I play different characters. I love becoming the character and not having it just be an extension of Wes.
I was going to say, is there...
They are all parts of me, a little part of my soul, a little part of my experience, all this in the roles, but I love disappearing into them completely. And I used to do that with the video. So if you go out, I did a horror movie recently called Last Night at Terrace Lanes, and it's a short little role, but it was fun. I played a local community college professor who's at a bowling alley bar trying to pick up a plus-size Instagram model using bar peanuts to demonstrate the Battle of Hastings. I don't do very well. But then you look at me there, and you look at me on the Star Trek Farragut Forward, which you can see if you go on YouTube, where I'm a Klingon, you wouldn't know it's the same guy.
Is there an element to playing a role like that is exciting? Seeing as, when you play a character in a Bethesda game, you were in Starfield briefly. So when obviously fans of their games play through that and get to that point, they go, "Oh, I know this guy, right? That's Wes. Wow, awesome. All right, he's a character in this game. I love that."
This was closest to the Imperial Guard of any other voices I've done, except I was channeling, when I was playing him, I was channeling 3 different guys. My inspiration. You think of an inspiration, and then you go in a different direction. But there was sort of a Trumpy Elon Musk, Dabney Coleman in 9 to 5 kind of vibe, plus Kevin Spacey and Bad Bosses kind of thing.
That's a hell of a combo. It's a hell of a combination.
He's a man of the people, He wants everybody to think that he's this and that, and he's a little bit of a con man, but he's also there's a little malevolence underneath of it, even when he's trying to be charming. And I had people who love me and love my work and love things and would send me messages going, "Hey, Wes, just played Starfield. Sorry, man, I had to shoot you in the face."
I think I did kill you.
Yeah,
I've killed you a lot of times. I'm not ashamed to admit that. There have been a lot of on-screen Wes Johnson deaths in my content, I think.
My boys used to kill me. I'd be when Oblivion first came out and they were younger. I'd be in the living room hearing them playing the game in the back, and I'd hear me in the back saying something like, "Oh goodness, come! No one hits with it. Ah, there, ah!" And it's like, "Are you guys murdering Dad again?" Yeah. All right. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to murder Dad, do it in a video game.
Right. We touched on that a little bit earlier on the show, how important virtual murder over real murder is. If you're just tuning in now, we covered that in depth.
Uganda and Darkwing Dragon both dropped in $100.
I think we are well over 5,000 now.
My goodness.
That is incredible. And last night you were on Kriken's stream, and you guys, I think, went well over 10,000. So combined,
I think we made about 12.
Wow, that's impressive.
And the thing is, all of this is going for a good cause. All of this is helping. Yeah. It's shining a light in a dark world right now, and you guys are sparkling, man. You are shining.
Keep going. The music just hit a celebratory point. You were ringing it out with perfect timing.
You are shining. You are glowing. You are bringing a light to this world that we desperately need, because in a time of despair, we need inspiration. You guys have provided inspiration for me, and you're providing inspiration and help for those who desperately need it right here, right now. You're not letting this world have its way. You're not letting Alzheimer's disease win. You're not helpless. You are fighting. You're dropping the gloves. Big boss Alzheimer's.
He's kicking ass right now. He's going crazy right now. The song is going. We were at the bridge. That was incredible. You could stream. I think you should. When do you start streaming? I'm gonna go through some of the donations that we've had. Some of the messages people left. Mulganda donated 100. Thank you for the stream, Wes and Joov. Thank you, Mulganda, for the kind donation. Anonymous sent 7. Ogre Kid sent 300. I think that is our largest donation of the day. Big congratulations, Ogre Kid. Thank you. Not congratulations, but thank you. I guess both. Appreciate it.
Wow. You see that? Spirit Dark Souls 64, a $250 donation, match activated for 120 hours.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but it's in all red.
I don't know what happened. We'll just accept it. They did something to it. Ogre Kid donated 300 and said, much love for Joov and Wes, this community, and the ability to come together over this goofy game for 20 years. Thank you, Ogre Kid. Scum Rock donated 100 and said, having found out that the voice actor for one of my favorite characters is so passionate about something that has affected me and my family is truly uplifting. Thank you guys, not only for your work behind the mic, but also for being amazing people as well. Scum Rock, thank you. Very much appreciated. Hush Puppy donated 10 and said, thank you too for everything. I appreciate what you're fighting for. Hun B donated 100, push for 5K. Thank you all so much. We're past there, Hun B, thank you. There was an anonymous donation in there for 300. Spill into Beans for 10. Kevin Finch said, in memory of my grampy. Sorry to hear, Kevin. Thank you for the donation. There was one anonymous.
What that means, by the way, Kevin Finch and Fallout for Hope official just told us, yes, what happens is that it's going to be matched by Spirit Dark Souls 64 up to $250. They'll donate twice as much for the next $250 donation. So if somebody donates $250, they will match it and double it.
Okay, everybody's telling me that somebody donated 500. We also just got a raid. Wow. Is that Cons Sevis? Thank you so much for sending your stream over.
Thank you, Cons Sevis. Welcome, everybody.
I guess I've just been going through them in chronological, just to go through. Somebody anonymous said, stop, you violated the law. For 250. 2 scars. And I guess I think that is, I don't want to say, hey, do the thing, say the line. Could we get one? Stop, criminal. Just.
All right, well, hold on. Stop right there, criminal scum. No one gets away with that in my city. Your stolen goods are now forfeit. Pay the fine or serve your sentence. What will it be?
Resist arrest.
With your blood.
2 scars at Chagarath give me hope. I feel Shivering Isles is more sane than IRL. Thank you for 25. Momo said, Wes, you were the best. Sheogorath is my favorite Daedric prince, and his actor collecting money to undo one of Sheo's worst ways of irritating us in our lives is so cool. I'm so happy you are well again. Thank you to all the donators.
I'm getting better
The rest
every
of the
day.
message was cut off.
It was a bit tough for a while there, and I still have a few things that I'm working through, but things are going to be fine. I promise you, they're going to be fine, and we want them to be, don't we? Yeah, we do.
I'm going to update the goal again. I did not see a 500 donation. If there was one that came in while scrolling through, it might take a second to update. Updating the goal also took.
There was one in there labeled Phoenix. She would hope that you would read if you see that.
Scrolling, checking.
Yeah, the 500 was near the start of the stream, they say.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, if somebody said $10,000 to shave the beard, I would do it, but I'd have to see the cash.
They might have been talking to me about that, and I, honest to God, I don't know. I like if I didn't for that number, I would be in, like, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't, much more damned if I don't. I can't be put on the spot right there. it is my whole.
They're saying 10K for you to shave your beard. Look at the pressure you're putting on him, guys.
Man, it's like my whole identity. I don't know. I can't find. I think the page is glitching out on me a little bit. I can't find. Maybe we can filter and.
I think we did mention it right at the very beginning.
Hexadecimal. Yeah, they donated 500 an hour ago. I don't think I saw this, but Hexadecimal. Bless you. Thank you. That is incredibly generous. I finally was able to find it by filtering things out. I'm going to see if I can get the goal to update as well.
What an amazing donation and so generous and kind, and what it's going to be able to do for people is just wonderful.
I'll do frosted tips. I would do frosted tips.
Frosted tips?
I can't tell if chat is saying.
They're saying 10K for frosted tips for you.
10K total or in one donation? I probably shouldn't be negotiating this as hard as I am right now.
10K. Yeah, if we reach 10K, I think you'd have to have a 10K donation if they wanted you to shave. But to reach 10K to get frosted tips, sure.
Okay. All right. Well, I didn't sign it. I'm going to... hey, Wes, who is your favorite 90s boy band? Were you more New Kids on the Block or Backstreet Boys?
I just like to sing bye, bye, bye to people occasionally.
What's the one, Tell Me Why? I Want It That Way. I think that's my favorite boy band song.
My favorite boy band was the Beatles.
Were they a boy band? I mean, they were kind of a boy band.
Boys. They did harmony. They never danced, but they played their own instruments.
That is true, but playing your own instruments, that's out of style. It's not. Everyone's a producer now.
I know. But isn't it great though? You get there are people out there who are super talented and probably could play their own music, but the industry has changed so much.
What is your, I guess, are there any like recent artists in terms of music that you're a fan of?
Ooh, yeah.
Like, what do you think about Kendrick Lamar? I like Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, Kendrick is okay. I'm more of a Foo Fighters kind of guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my dad and I enjoy Foo Fighters a good amount.
Black Keys. I love the Black Keys.
Okay, Dan Auerbach, I believe, is either their producer or he is a part of the band. I don't remember because he produced an album by one of my favorite bands, Cage the Elephant.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that these days I like when somebody, if they got something that can rock, something that's got a melody, something that I really get into. Who was that I just saw the other day? Did a song. I heard it. I love having Shazam, you know, because you start to hear a song and you're like, what is that? Who
Oh, so
is?
you're Shazamming out in public? You're jamming and Shazamming?
I will Shazam in public. Yes. This guy Bernhoft. Have you heard Bernhoft?
Bernhoft, never. It sounds like though your taste in music I would probably enjoy.
Well, I had never heard Bernhoft, and I heard it, and it's a song called "Call Out Kids."
Call out kids.
Yeah. Hang on a sec.
I think
Check this out.
I think it'd be really funny if you got us a copyright claim. I say go for it. I don't hear it right now. Might have to blast it a bit louder, get it closer to the microphone. No, this is the song. This is the song. You guys hear that?
Yeah.
Wes, are you there?
I'm here.
I'm sorry to say the song did not come through the microphone, so we had to just hit a button on my thing to play something in the meantime. But
Oh,
we got the message across though.
I like it. I was listening to this. Believe it or not, it was in a restaurant, and I had to take a little private moment, if you understand what I'm saying. And during the private moment, I'm hearing this song, and suddenly I'm bopping around. I'm like,
you're on the shitter and you just found your new favorite song?
I find a song on the shitter, and I hit Shazam, and I'm like, this is awesome. And then I looked the guy up, and he's this nerdy, weird looking guy. Sort of looks like if you took a cross between Michael Cera and Mick Jagger and mixed them together.
Ew.
Yeah.
I don't want to be mean. You know, I mean, this is a fairly positive stream. We're a very inclusive community. That's a weird looking guy. He would be a great Oblivion NPC.
Yeah, he would. But the thing is just fantastic. So if you get a chance to check that out, some of his stuff is more mellow, but that one jam, Call Out Kids, I loved it.
Call Out Kids. Okay, I think I'm going to enjoy this one.
The thing is, he has two kids. One's named Samuel, one's named Benjamin. I have sons named Samuel and Benjamin too. But he does the song for them.
That's cute. Why is it my
S to the A to the M-U-L. Yeah, that's how I'm going to have to spell my son's name from now on. Mick Sarah, Luke says. Luke 3:227. Mick Sarah. Bear Ghost. Bear Ghost is a great band. What do they play?
Insane clip.
Cool. Now, see, Ren Gray 2, you have to listen to that then. You got to look up Bernhoft.
Someone clip that? I'm sorry, Wes. That was an incredible kill.
Nice.
Someone. I think we just unlocked. Okay. So for some reason, the ragdolls of these enemies, if you paralyze them, I want you to, show your sons this if they're playing Oblivion Remastered at all. So you go up, you paralyze, and then you go punch mode, and for some reason, it like bounces them around like a beach ball.
Nice. Oh, good. Fly away.
Okay, sorry, completely derailed because that was awesome. I got way too excited over it.
Somebody was asking me what I think of Queen. Queen rocks. Queen was great.
Is there anybody that dislikes Queen?
And someone's asking if I'm a Led Zeppelin fan. Some songs, I love some Led Zeppelin. If I'm in the mood for some Zepp. I met Robert Plant once. Guy had just the best hair ever.
Here's a question. So you've met Robert Plant. Is he an Elder Scrolls guy?
I don't know. I was at a Stray Cats concert at a place called the Bayou in D.C.
Okay.
I was up in the upper area watching the Stray Cats play, and some guy comes in and he sits in the lighting booth. I'm looking at my buddy and I go, that guy has Robert Plant hair. He's like, really? I said, yeah, look at that. I mean, that's like dead on Robert Plant hair. And then suddenly, towards the end, as they're getting ready for their encores, I see Robert Plant hair starts walking around to head to the backstage area because I've performed at the Bayou and I know where the direction is. So I'm like, hey, Robert Plant hair is going backstage. Next thing you know, Robert Plant comes out on this small stage with the Stray Cats and they perform about 8 songs together. And afterwards, Robert Plant comes up and just hangs and drinks with everybody.
That's
So that was cool.
pretty awesome. Yeah.
For the bar fight, though,
There was a bar fight?
evidently there was a bar fight because someone tried to cut Robert Plant off.
That's okay. That honestly makes the story even cooler. You didn't witness the fight though; it just happened word of mouth afterwards.
They told me, they're like, you missed it, man. Yeah. The person who runs the place told Robert Plant he couldn't have anything more and he didn't like it. And they got in, and other people started fighting.
That is. I mean, kind of sad, but also epic.
Yeah.
Like I
So it
saw a
was-
famous person last night. Also, he got so drunk a fight broke out. It just makes the story infinitely cooler. Okay, so I wanted to ask on the topic of that. You met Robert Plant. Are there any famous people you've met that you also that like they made the connection? Oh my God, you're the guy from Oblivion. Are there any secret Elder Scrolls fans out there that we might not know about?
Well, I mean, talking with Will Wheaton, Will got into it. The thing is, Will and I could talk video games, but also talk hockey as well because he's a huge hockey fan.
Okay.
But he figured that out. And, well, that was interesting because I was at a con and they didn't know exactly who I was at first. They just thought I was another fan talking with Will and tried to bum rush me out and he wouldn't let him do it, which was very cool. And when they realized that I was also a guest, they were very apologetic. I've met that guy several times since.
He was in Stand By Me.
Oh, yeah. He was the one.
That's one of my favorites. I haven't seen it in years, but
He was amazing in that. He was really good. Will tried on my Stanley Cup ring. We took a picture with it, and all the Kings fans got on him, and he was like, "Shut up, man! It's a Stanley Cup ring." So
that had to feel pretty good though, in that loud arena and whatnot, having the person who is kind of the subject of attention have your back.
yeah, well, you know, the thing is, when you go out to these cons, it's cool running into and meeting people, especially back there. I got a chance to talk to Danny Trejo.
Oh,
Because I've been to Danny's, machete.
yeah.
I've been to a taco place in LA, and I told him, I said, man, your street corn is better than any street corn I've ever tried. He goes, oh, yeah, man. It's even better than my mama used to make. And everybody's like, oh, Danny, no, don't say that about your mama's street corn.
Don't say that about sweet corn. Street
yeah.
corn.
Oh, it's street corn. It's
Oh,
so good.
is it not just the most? Well, you would almost think if you describe the ingredients to some people, you'd be like, okay, it's corn, it's mayonnaise, cotija cheese, tahini. It'd be like, the mayo. The mayo throws people off when you're describing it. But no, it is wonderful.
It is a messy delight.
Scrunchy asked, did you watch the Fallout TV show?
I did. I loved it. I thought it was great. I want them to use me for Protectron robots or some voices, which they have not. I would love to be a part of it, but the fact of the matter is, I think they've done a really great job representing.
The people really loved who they had voicing the Mr. Handy robots. I don't remember the actor's name. I know
Russell
he's
was the guy who originally voiced them, and I would love for Steven to be able to do
Steven
that
Russell.
again. Mm-hmm. But they brought in Matt Berry.
Matt Berry, yes.
I love Matt Berry, though. I do love.
Steven Russell was, I survived because the fire around me burned. The fire inside me burned brighter than the fire around me. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was also in Thief, and Steven's a tremendous voice actor. He's done a lot of stuff with us for Fallout for Hope and for Voice of Palooza as well. Will probably join us in June. Also, like Paul Eiding. Some of these folks are terrific. Courtney Taylor. We did a thing.
Courtney
and it's still
Taylor.
out.
Courtney Taylor was Nora, right?
She was Nora.
Okay. I know a lot of the names. I'm not bad with my Bethesda voice talent in terms of remembering who plays who.
The we did a thing called Death Shroud, and it's a radio program based around the world of the Silver Shroud. And we brought back Stephen Russell to play Nick Valentine, and Courtney was there as Nora. We had Matt Mercer was in it. We had John Bailey, who is the epic voice guy, playing the Mechanist. We had John St. John and Ellen McLean and so many people doing this thing. And it's still available out there as like a 2-hour radio show that you can listen to on YouTube. And it was written by, I came up with a couple of the little concepts, but it was mostly, I'd say, written by Kenneth Vigu, who's terrific. And he produced the whole thing and put it together. And it is just, if you love the old radio programs and you love the radio programs that were in like with the Silver Shroud and that sort of thing, this was just a lot of fun.
I'm somewhat familiar with some of the podcast / radio shows that Kenneth has sort of been in charge of. I didn't know, or I guess I wasn't familiar, that there were that many, folks involved with those projects. For people in chat who aren't familiar with who Kenneth is, how do you pronounce Ken's last name? Is Vigu?
Vigu, I believe.
Kenan goes typically on social media goes by Chad Fallout 76 podcast, I think is like the full sort of moniker he has online. So you may have seen him posting about
also
here and there.
Official, he's in here now.
Oh, Fallout for Hope. Oh, okay. So yeah, he does. He's an amazing person. He's first off the reason why this stream is even happening today.
Yes.
Because he is connected with so many people in the community via charity and side projects like this. And just shout out to Kenneth for being such an incredible organizer of philanthropy, doing Fallout for Hope and putting a lot of
I know one of the best.
Just puts so much together and gets so much involved, and it's kind of been incredible to see just how many different creators he's been able to reach out to and be friends with and just kind of communicate, because it is a bit hard. The online community is so separated and in different circles. I'm in one place in the world, my friends are in different places of the world, everybody actors are in different places and all around, and it is nice to have one person who is committed to every now and then getting different portions of the community together. It's not easy to do. Everybody's schedules are off. His schedules are hard, and
a great, wonderful human being. If you listen to some of the things we do, and he's done for like St. Jude's every year, we do a Christmas show. We did one in Fallout. We did one that was a Christmas story, one that was like a Christmas carol. And Ken does the narration around the holiday times. He does narration on many of the things and starts them off, and has such a wonderful, smooth, beautiful voice. And yes, he took my acting class twice, but I got to tell you, he's got just such wonderful instincts and such a beautiful voice to begin with. And listening to him is just like, so very.
I was tempted. I almost took the class one time.
Well, come in. Right now, I'm not doing it because of the caps, and playoff schedule bombs mean I don't know when it's going to happen. But during the summer, we'll start it up again. I go through Theater Lab DC, and we have people from all over the world join the classes. We only do up to 10 people at a time. It's done live, 3 hours a week, and 6 classes total. And then we end up having a Discord that all the alumni can go on and share ideas and support each other and auditions, and it's been really wonderful to not just work with these folks and teach them, but to become friends with many of them and watch it build this wonderful community.
So what you're saying is, if I want to get you on the stream again, I got to take the class. I gotta get involved with the class. And
necessarily, you don't have to do that. But if you'd wanted to take the class, I know you'd probably have fun.
I would, and that's just kind of one of those things where I'm like, I love to play characters and kind of change my voice. I do role play quite a lot when we're recording and going through this. Typically, the character I'm role playing is me, but significantly more exaggerated, right, and a bit more of a dickhead, because that's just what you can be in these games. So I will think on it, But where can people find resources to sign up and give you money to take this class? Where is the best place they can do
Go
that?
to theaterlab.org, and it's theater spelled TRE, theaterlab.org. And when it comes up, you can also apply for financing, for financial aid. And I know some people who have applied for financial aid have paid nothing to take the class.
The stream died on my end because I have had issues with my internet upload speed at times. It'll attempt to reconnect. We are still recording, though. I just wanted to give you a quick heads up.
No worries. So folks can watch this back later.
Yes. I usually upload the streams unedited onto my VOD channel. And there's usually people who don't even watch the streams live at all. This looks like... Oh. It says my upload speed right now is just 0. Usually it comes back. And I think it's back now.
Oh my.
Think it's back.
Here we go.
Okay, we're back. Yeah, we've had that happen quite a few times. It's weird. It's about 10 seconds worth, but it's enough to completely disconnect and bring the stream down and make it go back up. Good news, chat. We're recording.
Where to go for the video for the video game voice acting?
Do you want to plug where people can take your class one more time?
Okay, and in hopes that it doesn't shut things down.
Yeah, hopefully they're shutting us down. Whoever out there, the pro Alzheimer's group out there is apparently attacking the stream.
Like those guys.
What's their problem?
If you go to theaterlab.org, and it's theater spelled with TRE, theaterlab.org. And right now I'm not doing the class because of the Capitals playoff bombs. Every round we go through, we suddenly get a new schedule and I have to cancel things. So in order to do that, we're taking a little time off. But we'll be back, and when we do, you can come in and put yourself on the wait list. We only do 10 people at a time, and that can be anybody from anywhere in the world because it's live, it's on Zoom, and we have a wonderful time. You can apply for financial aid. Some people have done the class and not had to pay anything for it. So keep checking theaterlab.org. And when you get a chance, sign up for it or sign up for the wait list and apply for financial aid. It never hurts to apply for financial aid. See what you can do.
You heard it here. Theaterlab.org. If you would like to be taught in voice acting by the legend himself, Wes Johnson. Should I do like the radio host thing? You know how radio hosts will continually reintroduce the guest or segment that they're on, where we're 2 hours in and we go, just in case you were missing it, we're here with Wes Johnson, the legend, the voice actor, the Imperial Guard, Shea Gorath, plenty of other things, talking about fundraising for Alzheimer's today.
Never accept an apple pie from Wes Johnson, especially when he's wearing a black robe.
Do you like pie?
Yes. We had such a great time with the ESO thing out in Amsterdam last year.
You went out there for
yeah, for the Gold Road unveiling. I've gone with them a couple of times. Went once to Las Vegas when we did Necrom.
Yeah, I remember when Necrom came out. Weren't you Hermaeus Mora? Didn't you reprise that role?
I reprised Hermaeus Mora for ESO. I'm waiting to be able to reprise Sheo once again for it. I accept no substitutes.
I mean, I know NDAs and all that, but like, come on. No, come on. We don't get to say it, but we know, there's going to be another Elder Scrolls game at some point, and I assume that,
I would love to do it. They know that I love them and I love the characters and I love the world, and All they have to do ever is ask me, and I would be there in a heartbeat.
I mean, they seem to know. They seem to have a pretty good finger on the pulse of like, okay, people were upset at a certain thing, but bam, Oblivion remastered, or it could be like, I feel like they know if they did that recast.
Anonymous donated $250, and Spirit Dark Souls 64 matched it.
Again?
Yep, we are now less than $100 away from $6,000.
Oh, okay, so that must be the thing where Super Dark Souls donated $250.
Super Dark Souls, they matched what Anonymous put in. Yeah,
and something happened where it was doubling other donations. I have no idea, but then it matches, so their match is complete. We're at 5,900, and I have to do a quick PSA to my chat. Hello, please stop begging me to do either anime voice for Wes here or several other things. The show is already chaotic and all over the place. Can't get to everything all at once.
So what kind of an anime voice do you do?
It's usually a parody. God damn it! Now we're gonna reward them. It's usually in parody. Like if I was going to anime voice this current interaction, I'd be like, I hope he didn't think that question was stupid. The internal monologue that anime characters do. Or like, he probably didn't like that. I know how I can turn this around.
That's great. And then sometimes you have to compress the read. What they said in the anime when they first did it, and your sentence in English is here, but the amount of time that they have you do it is here.
Have you ever done an English dub?
I've done some stuff occasionally. It's not the thing I do most because I'm not on the West Coast. And they love bringing you West Coast or in Austin. They do a lot in Austin.
Okay.
They bring you in and you look at the screen and you get going. But I've done a little bit of it. I do know when I did Phineas and Ferb, I had to do it to the screen.
What? You were in Phineas and Ferb?
You wouldn't know what my voice was because I was disguising it. Don LaFontaine, the guy who did the trailer voices, In a World.
Oh, yeah, that guy, In a World.
Did an episode called The Chronicles of Meep. But Don passed away before he could finish it.
Rest in peace.
I went over doing the voice for him on America's Most Wanted. And so they gave me a call and asked me if I would fill in the voice. So if you listen to that episode, the one phrase where it says, and Lorenzo Lamas as Meep, that is not Don LaFontaine, that's me. Doing Don LaFontaine's voice and keeping the very last Don LaFontaine voiceover alive, which was a huge honor.
That has to be an honor. Big shoes to fill.
No one can ever really fill those shoes.
What was it? Was this for a trailer?
No, it was for the episode, The Chronicles of Meep.
Okay. Chronicles of Meep.
In Phineas and Ferb.
That is wild.
If you look at other voices, I'm listed at the end in the credits as other voices. They don't say who I am.
They just had to tuck you in at the end.
Mm-hmm. No, Don was one of my heroes. I visited his grave out at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. I've also visited Mel Blanc's grave out there.
So after Don's passing, because they really don't do in trailers anymore, In a World where the sun never rises. They never do those kinds of trailers anymore, which I would love to see.
Yeah, it would be great. Sometimes you hear parodies of it, but you don't see it. Now, when I went out to see this guy right here, Mel Blanc, my hero, did all the voices for
Looney Tunes?
Looney Tunes, yeah. Mel Blanc was wonderful. If you look at his grave, it says, "That's all, folks." And I went out there and I was talking to him the one day at the grave, visiting. I brought a rose that I had gotten and I set it out there, and it was like, Don, if you were here today, I wonder what you would say to me. And suddenly from outside, right outside, a novelty car horn goes off and goes, da 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 da, like his old.
Yeah, you already don't see novelty car horns
No.
at all.
Well,
But to hear one in that moment is
it was like he was talking to me, and I felt the goose flesh come up my arms, and I'm like, okay, thanks, Mel. Nice chatting with you. Take care. Bye. Uh, but this book right here is his autobiography. That's not all, folks. And I had a copy of it, and I loaned it to somebody, and I couldn't remember who I loaned it to. And it was a great book, and it tells you how he came up with some of his voices, things of that sort, his time in the old time radio thing. I love this book. And when I started doing my classes again about the time of COVID, I thought, I want to get this book back and show it to people. And I went on Amazon because it's out of print. And I found a copy there. It's $4.25. And they said, the only reason they'll sell it that price, somebody's written in it. And I thought, well, I don't care if anybody's written in it. You know, if they made notes or whatever, I just want to be able to read it. So I ordered it. And then it shows up. It's autographed by Mel Blanc.
what? Okay, that's a okay. Whoa, hey, slow down with the plot twist. That's God, I'm trying to think of a show that would have that kind of a plot twist at the ending there.
Yeah.
So I mean, what do you think that would go for now? Obviously, you would never want to get rid of it. You got it for $4.
I never want to hear it. And it's written to Phil. And I have a friend of mine named Phil who's like, well, that's my book, Wes. I'm like, the hell it is.
Yeah, no, I'm keeping that.
Up on my wall, I do have one other thing that's signed by Mel in a Sharpie. Not a Sharpie. It was just like a marker. But it's a photo of Bugs Bunny handing an anvil to Yosemite Sam, who's floating in midair. And it's signed by Mel Blanc. That was my only Mel Blanc signed thing I had. But we all have our voice heroes. We all have the people who we aspire to one day do something like. And for me, Mel Blanc, Phil Hartman, man. Phil Hartman was so amazing.
Phil, have you ever met Phil Hartman?
I never did.
Okay. I would definitely say in terms of voice talent, yeah, Phil Hartman is certainly up there for me. Because he voiced so many amazing bit characters on The Simpsons.
He also did a game called Blasto. Did you ever play Blasto?
No, is that a video game?
It was a video game, and it was one of the earlier video games, and it was great. And he played the Blasto character running through, and you hear his running dialogue. Unfortunately, there was one line where he goes, "Ooh, headshot, nasty way to die." And it's like, oh God, no, that's... Eesh.
Blasto almost sounds like the name of a video game that would be in The Simpsons. Like surrounding an episode where Bart wants to play a violent video game or something.
I would love if Blasto were still... I wonder what Blasto is. I think it was like one of the early console games. But I'm wondering... I'm going to take a quick peek and see what...
Oh, good. We're letting... Oh, okay. We got the disarm. All right, we got the axe.
Good for you. It was on PlayStation. 1998. 1998, developed by Sony Interactive for the PlayStation. Phil Hartman voicing Captain Blasto, an extremely muscular, alien-fighting, dim-witted captain.
Baby boy's in trouble here.
I wonder if you could find a copy of it these days, or if it was on PlayStation. I don't know if you can even play it anymore, but because it was Phil Hartman, it was so good.
Sorry, I haven't really done this much throughout the entire stream, but I am unbelievably locked in trying to get my child out of this fight. I must save him.
Save. Was it big boy, best boy, big boy?
It's baby boy. It's the adoring fan. Restore health on target. It's not very powerful, but it could help.
Hi, I'm Baby Boy. You may know me from such games as The Imperial Guard Killed Me. We are getting very close to $6,000.
Oh, he got the disarm. I forgot to pick up the weapon. No.
And $5.88 left to raise so far $20,000 in this campaign.
How many streams have you been on so far?
This is our third.
Poor kid. He fought so hard. I'm so proud of him.
Ah,
If I had more magic, we could have possibly kept him alive. So you were on Kraken's stream. What was the other stream that you were on throughout the campaign?
can you tell me there, Ken? We did Kraken and with George. Zero period George.
Oh, yes. Yep.
George is a great guy too. You guys are all just wonderful human beings.
I've found, throughout this career, there's an aspect of doing YouTube and content that when you start, there's the sense of desperation of you just want to be in the game. Like I want coach to call me off the bench, or I want to have that first moment where people might start either whether it's respecting me or like knowing of me, or I can make friends in this space. It's very isolating and lonely at first. But one thing that I have learned, especially from the Bethesda games community, is everybody, for the most part across the board that's a creator in this space is incredibly kind, incredibly generous, and most of the stuff that we're creating within these sandbox worlds is silly in nature. So we all kind of have just this sense of support and fun times. It's not a competitive shooter where things can get toxic or overly competitive. It's maybe competing to see who can be or go on the dumbest adventure, but for the most part,
the word community is really true. It's folks getting together and we all chant together, one of us. Oh, by the way, thank you, Anonymous. Put us over the top.
We just went over 6,000.
Or as everybody's now shouting, 4K further for Frosted Tips.
Yeah. Okay, there was no hard agreement there. All right, everybody relax. But 6,000 is incredible. The largest campaign I was ever able to do on my own was over 2 streams during Fallout 4. We were raising money for Gamers Outreach. Have you ever heard of Gamers Outreach?
The name's familiar, yeah.
They essentially build gaming stations for children's hospitals around the world. They're fairly global. And I think over the course of 2 streams, we raised about 9,000, which was really, really good. I was shocked, honestly, at how much, the community was able to raise. But they build mobile gaming stations. The reason why I chose that charity was because there aren't many things that I, as an individual creator, can fundraise for and then immediately sort of see the physical manifestation of what we raised money for. And it's about, I think it's a little over 3,000 to fund an entire gaming station that they have.
That's and for the kids, it's amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool to see. I still haven't gotten a chance to go visit the hospital nearby me in Minneapolis that has. Why are there enemies chasing me? Are they going to come into my home? It was really cool to see pictures of the unit when it got there and to see, that it was donated by the Joov YouTube community. It was very cool to see.
That's nice.
But other than that, I'm a little bit shocked that we were able to get all the way up to 6,000. Thank you, chat. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to you, Wes, for coming onto the stream while I aimlessly run around the island and shoot things with a bow and accomplish absolutely nothing.
You're definitely getting your cardio in today.
In terms of the grind, I do want to get athletics up. That one is, good Lord, that one takes a while.
Just stand there and jump for a while in place.
That's acrobatics.
That is true.
Acrobatics is very easy to get to 100. Athletics takes a while. Well, let me ask, I guess, in terms of, playing these games, what of the sort of, catalog of games, if we were to go between Elder Scrolls and Fallout, which one do you have the most time actually playing, in your free time?
I probably played more of Skyrim, but it's neck and neck because I played Morrowind so long, and Morrowind initially was on PC. Uh, I didn't play it on console till much later, and then I was like, wait a minute, I can do this on the couch, on the big screen.
Yeah, see, I think you were playing Morrowind the right way, though.
Yeah, yeah. And then Oblivion, I spent so much time on that. When Fallout came out, being able to do Fallout 3, and I'm in the DC area as it is. So in order to be able to go to places that really exist and seeing them blown up, that was pretty cool. I've put in so many thousands of hours playing the games.
It's hard to keep track almost.
Yeah, I've played probably Starfield, I would say the least, only because of the amount of time that I've had to play.
You're a busy
what I
man.
mean? Yeah, things have been pretty crazy. And then I had that whole dying thing.
That, yeah, I didn't want to say it, but I was gonna say, the whole almost dying, that's gonna take up some time and probably make you reevaluate what you should be spending most of your time on.
I have, since I've been back in playing Oblivion recently, I find myself doing that old thing where you're like, I'm just going to play for a half an hour, and the next thing you know, the birds are chirping outside your
6
day's
hours go by.
Yeah, and it's like, I can't do that like I used to 20 years ago.
Right. They do have this amazing ability, these big open sandbox games, of for about a week to 2 weeks straight, it is everything you want to spend your time doing. Eventually it will hit a point with run where you're like, okay, I gotta slow down, how much I'm playing this game. And coming back to it, it's kind of hard to come back to a save if you take, let's say, 2 weeks off, because you get back, you start playing, and you go, I think I want to make a new character. I think I want to do a different build. I do it with Skyrim all the time. It's like, yeah, I think I want to start over. And
with Skyrim, I played it for years before I finished the main quest because I didn't want to close down any Oblivion gates. I mean, not Skyrim, Oblivion. It took me years to get to the end of the game because once you finish,
the gates go away.
The gates go away. I wanted to loot every bit of that infernal other land.
I want to say, I don't know exactly how it works, but I think with every Oblivion save, there are 90 or so possible locations where the gates can spawn in, and every save, 60 will spawn. I think that's about what it is. So you have a lot to go through if you plan on closing all of them.
Yeah, the Daedric warriors, the Dremora that you find, I voiced those. I scared myself one time jumping out at myself in the middle of the night.
Oh, you did voice all of them? I assume there's a lot of like modulation or filters that they put over your voice for the "You should not be here, mortal."
There's not a lot of modulation on some of the voices I do. People think like with the Protectron robots that I have done.
That one blew my mind. I did not know you were Protectrons until not that long ago.
Yeah, and a lot of that is just my voice with a little bit of electronic buzz to it. So, and with the Dremora, there was a little bit of something to them, but those are my voice. Those are just me.
Do you record from a home studio, or are you on site at Bethesda when you record?
That's my box right there. I used to do it on site there with them, but now I've got my own home studio.
Okay. Are there advantages and disadvantages to both, or do you think being remote is all advantage for you?
Advantages of being there with them is you can discuss things with them, sit down, have lunch, look across at them. But the thing is, the way things are now, I can have people in LA and in DC and in Hong Kong all on the line at the same time while I'm recording and never have to wear pants, if I so choose. I usually do. Usually.
Well, I'm wearing a suit right now, but I'm also wearing house shoes. I didn't need to wear the suit pants. I could have just worn sweatpants. I wish I did.
Sweatpants are nice. I'm wearing jeans right now, and I'm dressing my shoes.
What do
Because
you? Uh,
I went out earlier and I took a nap, and I realized as we were getting ready to go, I woke up and rushed in here to get going. Something about an afternoon nap that's better than any other sleep any other time. Do you know what I mean?
incredible. I had a 3-hour nap the other day, and I woke up. It felt like I was on a different planet.
Yes, I love that feeling.
What do you think of on the topic of jeans? It's a hot topic in my community on my streams. Everybody accuses me of wearing skinny jeans. What do you think about skinny jeans in general? Like, if you see somebody wearing, like, there's a difference between jeans that might be a little bit of a tight fit versus true skinny jeans,
Right.
and it is completely okay to wear jeans that may have a tighter fit than normal jeans, but that doesn't classify them as skinny jeans, right?
No.
Okay,
Not
I have
necessarily.
one more question for you.
Yeah. Well, you disappeared. You go, I'll eat a Pocky.
What color is this shacket?
What is it?
That looks to be sort of a slate gray.
Wait, slight gray, what was the second portion?
Light olive, slate gray. I'd say
Olive. Okay, all right. I just had to, just had to.
it's a touch of green. There's a difference between, there we go. There's a difference between greens, guys. You can have a bright green, an emerald green. You can have a forest green. That green there is got kind of like with a gray sort of slate to it.
Yeah. All right, now that it's in writing, I really appreciate the support. Thank you. This has been okay. His first answer was gray, but see, this is what happens. Normally, I'm arguing with them the whole time about stupid things. No, it's we did. I guess to give you an idea of the dumb things we do, we recently did a stream where it was playing Skyrim, but we could only use green items, and there was a lot of discourse about whether or not my jacket was green.
It is greenish.
I'm,
It is green. It is mostly gray, but there's a
I'm taking it. I'm taking it to the bank.
I'm eating some Pockies again. While we...
Absolutely, by all means, go right on ahead. Trying to find the Imperial City Palace. That's what I was looking for.
I've done 2 games with Patrick Stewart, never met him once.
You've never met Patrick Stewart?
Not in person. I was there when he died.
What was the? I mean, everybody knows him. Everybody knows him in Oblivion. But what was the?
Star Trek Legacy. I was the Klingon admiral who battled him in the starships when Picard is battling the Klingons. That was me.
I'm not familiar with the game. However, I should have assumed that it would have been a Star Trek video game.
Everyone's asking if Patrick Stewart is dead. No, the Emperor is dead. Patrick is.
You just gave the entire chat a heart attack all at the same time. Patrick Stewart is alive. Also, my shacket is green. Those are 2 things very true right now in this moment. This is another one of my favorite characters of yours, is the prim and proper Imperial Guards at the palace.
For the Emperor.
No, see, they're very official about the rules of the palace. Please do not go onto the 3rd floor. Remain quiet. Keep your voice down. Like, they're just so silly in here.
All visitors to the Imperial Palace are asked to keep their voices down.
Keep your voices down. They just want you to be very respectful in the palace.
Emperor, but guess who played the Emperor in Skyrim?
Was that you?
That was me.
I think I remember killing the Emperor in Skyrim. See, again, I've killed you so many times. It's so weird
Yes,
to
but
say.
here's the question I have. Did you hear him out first? Did you speak to him?
Yes.
because he asked a favor of you.
I'm trying to remember what it is he says, because we just did it. We didn't just do it, but it was maybe a little close to a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
What is his request again? Because he wants the player to kill him.
Those who set him up, he knows who turned him into the Dark Brotherhood, and he wants you to get revenge for him.
That's right. Yeah, because if you do his secondary task, you get a shit ton of gold, don't you?
Yeah, and that's Alexander Brandon, a voice actor I've met a number of different times. And I tell Alex, I'm like, yeah, you had me killed, but buddy, I got you back.
And I assume most players take the deal. I can't assume that there's many people that avoid taking it.
There's me more than people who walk in and immediately just kill him and don't listen to him. Hear him out.
I wonder if we can survive this fall with 150 acrobatics. It's worth trying.
Armand Motier, yeah. Armand Motier, yeah, that guy. He's just as bad as Matthew Bellamont.
Matthew. Oh, that's one part. Matthew Bellamont is the guy who, what is it? The Dark Brotherhood killed his mother or something, so he wants revenge on all of the Dark Brotherhood.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hail, champion. Anytime, champion.
Lisa H. I heard him out. I respect authority. Temporarily.
All citizens are welcome in the Imperial Palace.
I'm trying to figure out. I think I'm stuck in here.
I don't know what happened to the Zwoomer.
Did somebody just ask you?
It's very, very heavy.
Did somebody ask you what happened to the Dwemer?
Yeah, they wanted to know what happened to him, and I don't know.
I get lore questions. I think people are sometimes surprised when I don't know anything about the lore. Do you know a lot about the lore?
Sometimes I do, especially when it has to do with my character.
Okay, yeah, if you have to study up on it a little bit, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then, of course, as I learn lore as I play, I learned a lot about the lore of Apocrypha and things of that sort when I did ESO, because that was so deep and cool.
Yeah. So what is Apocrypha? I know it's green.
No, it's the realm of Hermaeus Mora. I love Hermaeus Mora, by the way. A weird voice to have to come up with, because what does he sound like? There's no mouth. A billion eyes, a billion tentacles.
He sounds like he's got 2 tablespoons of peanut butter in his mouth.
Hermaeus Mora.
Right.
I do with my tongue slightly to the side.
To the side?
Yeah, and that's how he is in Skyrim, but in ESO, he speaks more clearly. You're like, why does he speak more clearly? And I'll tell you why. Because you don't see a mouth on him. He's speaking to you telepathically. And how clear you hear him depends upon your perceptibility, your own ability to hear the psychic voice. So I would say the person from Skyrim doesn't hear him quite as well. You hear the stutters, the clicks, the hisses, the mushy, but it's still the same voice, but it's a little quicker and there's less clicks and things of that sort in ESO, which we had to do because there was so much lore. But that's the difference between working with a good director and not. And I was working with DB Cooper, and she is wonderful.
I twisted my head really quick because as soon as you said DB Cooper, I was thinking of Prison Break.
Right.
I was thinking of the bag of cash dropped out of the plane.
She claims it's not her, but who's to say?
Okay, fair. We don't know. So anyway, go ahead. She was your director, and
yeah, it was like a dance. It was like a dance trying to keep it. The two of us come in here, and she went. We want to keep the feel of Hermaeus Mora and make it sound like it's the same person, but also do it a little quicker. But also bring a little different kind of a feel to it. So I think we did a really good job at keeping the essence of who Hermaeus Mora was in ESO, keeping it close to the original, but also not dragging it out to the point where you feel like you had to gnaw your leg off to get away from the unskippable.
That is interesting because it's gotta be kind of a delicate thing to balance doing a different take on the character, or a slightly different take on the character, without trying to change so much to where people will be going around and looking at it and go, oh, that doesn't really feel like Hermaeus Mora anymore. Like, they could never do Uriel Septim from Oblivion without Patrick Stewart if they wanted him to somehow, be in there. I guess, they could recast, but for most fans, it would be like,
There's sort of a dignity to the Emperor, though. I mean, Titus Mead II is different than Patrick Stewart's Emperor, but I think both of them have sort of a, and tell me, guys, if you think I'm wrong here, but there's a certain dignity to them. And the fact that Titus knew what was coming to him and accepted it,
they both kind of did.
surprised a lot of people.
Love Sean Bean. I think we all love Sean Bean.
Who doesn't like Sean?
Right? That's got to be a red flag. I was really into that Game of Thrones show, but Sean Bean just got too much screen time.
Yeah.
It's the same issue I had with the Lord of the Rings.
Episode 9, oh my God, right? Were you like, what?
Yeah. Are you watching any shows right now? Any that are like currently airing?
I was watching, I have only seen one episode of Daredevil, but I enjoyed it so far.
I watched the original Daredevil when it was on Netflix. Really enjoyed it. Have not watched any of the...
The new one's good, although there's something happens in the very first episode that
will
break your heart.
They better not touch Foggy Nelson. I swear. No, don't do it. No. I've been watching, and I actually just watched the newest batch of episodes of Andor. Have you watched that at all?
I haven't seen the new one yet. I saw the first one. I'm waiting.
So they've been doing them in batches of 3 episodes a week. So on Tuesday night, there's, 3 new episodes. You kind of get a movie a week. And the last 3 that they did were, I don't think that it's a stretch at all to say that it is easily, including the original movies, the best Star Wars has ever been.
Wow.
I think it is absolutely the last 3 that they did. And that first season was incredible. The prison arc is, I think, the fan favorite of that first season. The last 3 that they just did in the second season, so it would be, I believe, 7, 8, and 9.
Off, right?
What's that? Oh, yeah. I mean, it pays off, but it is also just some of, I think, the bravest storytelling. It makes the universe of Star Wars feel so large. It makes it feel like a living, breathing, real universe, better than any of the other stuff has ever done, to like a degree that is just, it's so good. It's mwah, mwah. It is so good.
Yeah, that's high praise indeed. By the way, KM, thank you.
Something just happened.
Thank you, Heebie-Jeebus. But Anonymous just pledged the next $500 donation. For the next 120 hours, we get a $500 donation. Anonymous will double it. That would put us over $7,000.
What? There's a few more comments in here that we could probably go through, since I am wandering around this game very directionless.
These guys.
Heebie-Jeebus donated 10 and said, "Thank you, Wes, for all the work you've done. You're the voice of a generation." That's high praise.
Wow.
You know this, nevertheless, thank you. If you didn't know it, now you do.
Grateful to be here and be able to do what I do.
Flaming Squirtle donated 10 and said, "Love what you're doing, Joov." Hey, it's not me. This is 90%. I would give 90 to 99% of the credit to Kenneth and to Wes, because, if it wasn't for them and how passionate they are about philanthropy and about this stuff, then I would have just kept on keeping on with whatever dumb Skyrim or Elder Scrolls challenge we were planning on doing. KM donated 25. They said, "Happy to help. Keep up the good work. Both you guys, love you guys. Wes made my childhood great with Oblivion."
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. My wife is called. Hold on one second. Kimmy, we're still in the middle of doing this here. Everything okay? Love you. Bye. Gang, it's always important to answer your wife's call. Oh, Scooter, I didn't say hello to him for you in Arcane. I'll make sure I pass on all those words later on. No, continue. I'm sorry I had to interrupt you there, Joov.
All good, all good. Changman's house husband donated 10. Said 6K so far. Keep it up. Frosted Tips 10K donated 25. Camillus donated 25. There was another $100 anonymous donation a little bit about 24 minutes ago. Nazim donated 25. I think that's the only donation where I could say we still don't like you. Kaylin Price said, in honor of my grandmother and both great-grandmas who suffered with dementia and Alzheimer's. Kaylin, thank you very much for sharing and for the donation. Loomis Numus donated 10. I didn't see the dono match pop up yet. It might take a couple seconds to pop in here. But I as well, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I as well am short on time as we kind of come towards the end. Is there?
That's okay.
Is there?
The wife is coming home. The dog has probably left me many presents in the living room. Some people are asking what Finn looked like. If you go look at the announcement for Oblivion Remaster, I was on with Jessica Finster. I was with both Finn and the Finster. I brought Finn with me. You did
a live stream right after the reveal, right? Jessica Finster, is she in all the like update videos and stuff that Bethesda does?
She is their social person, and she does a lot of the different interviews. And
okay.
She's wonderful. She's a lot of fun.
I mean, if they ever want to talk to somebody who can talk their ear off for 5 hours about mechanics in these games, you know, like if they need an ideas guy to just kind of rattle around a few things, I would love if you could put me in touch.
She's senior community manager globally.
So she's important.
Now, see, Mulganda says the only reason you're cutting this short here, Joov, is you're trying to dodge the frosted.
I wish that was true. I'm not. I am also aware of my mileage when it comes to doing live streams. This is, by the way, far and away the most unique, different stream I think I've ever done. I've done some co-op streams before, but I've never really had an opportunity like this. So.
Well, thank you for
the
opportunity you've given me to come out and hang with everybody today, Joov. And first of all, next time I see you at a con, you and I will spend more time. And if we do go to Minnesota, we've got to get one of those Juicy Lucy's. You know what they are, right?
I'm down. I'm down as long as I can take enough pictures to prove to my chat that it was real and that it was that it happened. Because, you know, in this, I don't ever want to be gotta get a picture of it, you know, gotta post it. You know, I just need it to like be more of a memory. I can have the moment and be like, bam, did that. I've also never had a Juicy Lucy since I've lived up here about 2 years now.
Oh, man. So good. You got to go to Matt's Bar and Grill. It's a little divey kind of place. It's where they created it. And you get this burger with the cheese cooked on the inside. And hopefully you're there with somebody. It's not a place to take a first date because you take a bite of this burger. If you bite into it, it'll shoot cheese all over your date. You got to be very careful with that first bite, because that cheese will come out everywhere. Be very delicate when you nibble, but it's so good.
Well, maybe it would be a good opportunity for a first date if eating like that is important to you. You could analyze, you know, somebody's reactions and how they handle a messy burger. If it's an important thing to, you know.
I have to tell you this, Joov. I'm sorry. First dates are no time to be going spooging cheese onto your first person. No.
I don't. Okay. I mean, what experience does Shea Gorath have? He seems like a fairly lonely guy. I think that's the facade he puts out, you know?
There with Haskell. He's boring.
The games are our only evidence. We don't have a lot of evidence that Shea Gorath is playing the field.
No. I mean, the guy's spending quality time in dead emperors' minds. I mean, obviously is lonely. You know?
That does make him compelling, though.
All these golden saints and the dark seducers. And I would imagine he's probably, you know, There's got to be sort of like a groupie kind of thing going on there, I would imagine.
With the Golden Saints and Dark Seducers.
Yeah,
You're going to give the modding community way too many ideas if you keep going down this
I'm gonna
route.
Start some kind of fan fiction.
Keep going down this route. The mod's already been made. That's it. Well, Wes, thank you so much for everything you do for the community. Keep doing this. I hope we get to see you on a few other streams.
Can I get you to come back in June and play with us again?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Would everybody rejoin us if Joov comes back in June for Voice of Palooza proper? Would you come back and play, guys? All right. Well, then it's a date.
That's what I'm hearing. Absolutely. And also, I would probably be anybody who watches this on the VOD channel could skip the first hour and see that, like, okay, it was less awkward. We started to get a little bit more comfortable managing the stream and going between like the donations. I think I learned pretty quickly though, as this started, oh, we're not getting any actual gameplay. This is just background. It's fun to, look at and talk about a little bit, but it's so secondary to the charity, to the stories that you have to tell. I mean, you're an interesting guy, in general. You work in an interesting field, you have interesting jobs, and you're philanthropic. All of that stuff is infinitely more interesting than a game that we've already played for 20 years and will continue playing.
But the thing is, we love the game. We love seeing this.
Absolutely.
Watching you play. And also to hear the stories of everybody out there who's been touched by Alzheimer's disease and in their families. Guys, please don't forget, you're not alone. All your friends, all the people, all the families out there who have suffered through this as well and continue to suffer, look what you have done here today, the light you've brought to the world. The donations are going to help so much. And again, I'm going to say this, I've said it again and again, but I mean it. Gamers are the most wonderful people in the world. Streamers,
they are. The gamers are such generous and...
Yeah. I love you all. Thank you.
Wait. 1 sec. Before we call it, we should do one final.
Stop right there, criminal scum. Nobody breaks the law on my watch. I'm confiscating your stolen goods. Now pay your fine, or it's off to jail.
I just have to get my favorite...
Pretty eyes, the Imperial Guards these days.
I have to get my favorite Imperial Guard line real quick before we go. That's too bad. I was hoping you'd resist arrest.
Okay.
That's too...
That's it.
I was
hoping I could gut you and kill you right now.
Confiscate any stolen goods.
You resist?
Pay-
That's what I wanted. But no, you pay the fine. That's too bad. I was hoping for more. I was hoping you'd show your testicular fortitude and fight me here in the streets. But no. Go about your way.
The law on my watch. I'm confiscating a stolen...
Stop right there, criminal scum. Nobody breaks the law on my watch. I'm confiscating your stolen goods. Now, pay the fine.
I like this guy more. Yeah, you know what? Okay, I was lying earlier in stream. I like the new Imperial. I like the posh Imperial Guard. That doesn't work for me as much.
Look at all that eyeshadow going on. How emo can the guards get?
Well, if you kill enough of them, they start to wear even more makeup. They start to miss their old friends. It's a hidden Easter egg.
No, you see, he used to be in a Cure cover band, but they broke up after infighting, and he got bitter, and he became an Imperial Guard.
See, this is why I say you should start streaming. All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it, Wes. Thank you for coming on the stream. Voice of Palooza.
Much love, guys.
We'll see you in June.